Welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is season 2, episode 15. Please, as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. This will be our college football week 8. Yeah, college football week 8, NFL week 7 recap. I'm just going to jump straight into it. Really, there's not a whole lot of lead up here. Seth Littrell was fired yesterday. We kind of had talked about it, had kind of almost seen it coming. Even if Brent felt that Seth Littrell was the issue, or if he felt that he wasn't necessarily the issue, he wasn't the fix for it. And someone it had to be the scapegoat. It had to happen.
Yeah. No, I mean, it just was. I mean, it was too rough. Like it couldn't continue to go on. I mean, let's talk about it. Yeah. South Carolina 32, Oklahoma 9.
35 to 9.
Yeah, 35. Okay. Well, I try to take away.
Here. Yeah. Let me break down the beginning of the game for you. So, my fiance and I went to a farmer's market that morning, right? Get in the car at 11:45. I cut the game on. I'm pulling out of the parking lot, and Michael Hawkins threw the interception. Like, God fucking damn it. All right? I then am turning onto the street, heading towards my neighborhood. The last turn to go towards my neighborhood. I'm turning off that light. Fumble for a touchdown. Great. Fucking amazing. Love it. I get home. I take our shit inside, sit down on the couch, turn on the game, pick 6. Dude, in the 12 minutes it took me to get home, we were down 21-0.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough.
You lived in Oklahoma, the noon tornado sirens in the city, those hadn't even gone off yet, and the game was over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really miss those noon sirens. Saturday, 12 o'clock.
I wish it was a real fucking tornado heading straight to me at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was rough. And they benched Michael Hawkins, and Jack Sarnell was the spark that they needed. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad he got to go back out there and get his opportunity. Just really wasn't much there.
Good block for him. 9 sacks.
It needed to be done. I mean, whether it was Seth Littrell's fault or if it was just all the injuries. I mean, obviously injuries are going to impact you, and you got to play a bunch of young guys. Like this early on, but in their development, they're having to play big, meaningful games. And, I mean, they can be rough on confidence for those guys too. So, like, I try not to I try not to harp on them too much. But, you got to call it for what it is. It was a disaster. Just when we thought it couldn't get any worse.
Yeah. I'm going to stop with that phrase because they showed me it can, evidently.
I don't think it can. I think it could be just as bad or worse at Ole Miss. And, like, it's, it just is what it is. We're pathetic.
Are there – now, defense is very good. Defense only allowed 11 points, not off turnovers. One touchdown drive of over 50 yards.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for anything better.
It was a good play design, too, that throw.
Yeah, that motion wheel post. Yeah, it was beautiful.
So that's how you get a freshman seeing double. That was Eli Bowen on that, right? Because he comes down. Yeah. No.
It happens. He's a true freshman.
Yeah, but he'll learn. He'll get better.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you this before we get into, because there was a bright spot from that offense, and I definitely want to talk about it because it was pretty awesome. But who do you think? So obviously, like I said, Seth Littrell is gone. Joe John Finley's taken over the play calling and sole offensive coordinator position. Kevin John's been elevated from an offensive analyst to quarterbacks coach, which is what he was a offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Duke. He's coached under Cliff Kingsbury. He's coached under Mike Norvell. He had one of the best offenses when he was the OC at Indiana with Michael Penix. He's coached big time football. He's been an offensive coordinator and a play caller at big time football. Who else on this offensive staff do you feel is safe? Now, I know it's going to become a thing where if they hire someone to let him bring in his whole new staff, obviously no one's safe. In my eyes, Emmett Jones is safe because of what he's done on the recruiting trail. I can't go any further than that. Bill Bedenbaugh, maybe, just historically because he's been so good, but I don't know how much faith I have left in Bill. I love DeMarco Murray to death, but there's been no elevation from any running back. No one's gotten better.
We're not going to know until the offensive line and the game planning's better, like the X's and O's.
That is true. That is true.
Terrible game planning. So I don't know. I mean, we've seen what these running backs can do whenever under Jeff Levy, later in the seasons. First year 2022, Eric Gray kind of shined. Last year, Gavin Sawchuk. So
yeah,
and Tolly Walker. So I don't know.
Look what Tolly's doing at Wisconsin, by the way. We talk about it every week. He's outstanding. But anyway,
no, he's really good.
So yeah, we'll definitely see there. I don't know that Joe John has a job, at least in Norman, next year, but who knows? Maybe they go out there and the offense looks really, really good and gets things going, and he coaches for his job. Yeah, I as well. There's been a multitude of names that have come up in terms of the coaching search, and obviously the coaching search can't start until Sunday, November 31st, really, but it's going to happen before then. There's going to be calls made.
It's a tough decision too to fire Seth Littrell because I'm sure he didn't want to do that. I mean,
he talked about it. Brent talked about it. He didn't want to. Caleb Kelly shared on the coach's show yesterday that Brent was really emotional about it, and he had talked about how embarrassing it was, and Brent himself had talked about how embarrassing it is for the offense to be as bad as it was, and how much he hated to do that. And it's not just affecting Seth Littrell directly; it's his whole family. And I still have a lot of love for Seth Littrell. He was a captain on OU's last national championship team. An Oklahoma guy, born and raised. He's done great things for the university for the football program. It just wasn't the right move. So, you take your lumps, you learn, and I'm sure Seth will continue to develop within his career as a coach, and maybe he'll get back to being a head coach. But that was just it had to happen though.
Yeah, it had to. And that's rough, but it is what it is. You move on.
Yeah.
And Joe John he's going to take over as OC, so we'll see how that looks. Tough slate coming up.
Yeah. Are there any offensive coordinators you have in mind?
Whoever can help us
score points.
Win 10. Yeah, whoever can help us score points.
Lincoln
win
Riley?
Games. I'll take it at this point. USC's got some stuff to figure out with him.
Blowing another 14-point lead in the second half.
I hope the Giants fuck this up with Brian Daboll and we can hire him as OC.
Who knows? Maybe the 49ers really fuck up and get rid of old Shanahan.
Yeah, that's not happening. That's just wishful thinking, man.
Speaking of Shanahan's, and Brian Daboll isn't?
Yeah, I know it is. It's absolutely.
Yeah. Speaking of Shanahan's, though, there is an unrelated. What's up?
I have a question for you. Didn't we start working with the Eagles organization or something? Didn't I read that somewhere? We're working with the Eagles organization. Mm-hmm. Why don't we just reach out to them and be like, hey, you got any offensive coordinators?
Nick Sirianni?
Was he a good? He was a good OC, wasn't he?
I believe so. Yeah.
He was with the Colts under Frank Reich.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Maybe. I don't remember.
What does he do now? I mean, he hasn't called plays in 3 years.
Gets bitched at by Philly fans. That's pretty much all he does at this point.
Yeah, he's already had a mental breakdown. I don't know if I want him.
Yeah. I don't know if he's necessarily the strongest up in the dome. Kevin Durant couldn't even handle Oklahoma City. I doubt Nick Sirianni could handle OU fans. So
yeah.
There is, though, going back to the Shanahan, there is, surprisingly unrelated, there is a Shanahan that has been talked about amongst the coaching search. Mike Shanahan, not father.
Legend.
Not the legend Mike Shanahan, but he might be turning himself into quite the fucking legend with Indiana having one of the most potent offenses in all of college football and being 7-0 and ranked inside the top 10, maybe. What is that?
Well, they're at the top of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's crazy.
They are 13th in the country. Their quarterback so far through 7 games has 1,941 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. And they just absolutely torched Nebraska. We were wrong. we were wrong. Oh, man. But
Kurt Signetti said, "Look me up. I win games."
Yeah. It's one of those things that, for some reason people keep bringing up Andy Kotelnicki. It's not a lateral movement because OU is a better program than Penn State, but it's not big enough,
I know. No, we're not going to hire Andy Kotelnicki.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not a big enough move. His next move is to be a head coach somewhere. Kind of like the whole Jeff Lebby thing. Only reason he went to OU was to help get things started there, but his next move, realistically, from Ole Miss was going to be a head coaching job. So, kind of a similar thing there. Brennan Marion is another name that keeps getting mentioned. The go-go offense out at UNLV. It's too gimmicky for me. I think it's fun. It's very entertaining. I love it. But for potent, like
Dude,
SEC culture,
points, I don't give a shit. Like,
that is the
we
thing.
have a big problem. Like we need better players.
Yeah. I just don't know that gimmicky of an offense gets you consistently those high-level players. You have to get very specific type players.
Yeah. I mean, like Oklahoma is decimated with injuries on the offense right now.
Yeah.
So we don't know when Deion Burks is going to come back. We don't know when Andrell's going to come back. I mean, I'm at this point, I'm guessing that they're just sitting him out for the season and said, "Hey, sorry." Like,
There was, if you call it good news, there was some good news that came out of Brent's press conference today. When asked about recruits because of the Seth Littrell thing, that he said one of the big conversations he has with these recruits, and obviously it's all fluid, it's all subject to change depending on what happens. But he wants to make sure these guys, before they commit, they don't commit to a coach, they commit to a program. They commit to the University of Oklahoma, so that's big. But also, he did reveal that he has spoken with the likes of Nick Anderson, Jaden Gibson, Andrew Anthony, Deion Burks, Jaleel Farouk. That's the 5. Yeah, that's the 5. They have expressed intention to come back next year. So that could be good, especially when we have all these freshmen hopefully coming in. As long as, we can stay healthy there, that could be very beneficial for a team that going to likely be going through a lot of change about a month and a half. So things are going to look really different here in about 45, 50 days. But that's really enough. Like we said, defense looked great. I hope this team makes a bowl game. If they don't, I don't think it's the end of Brent Venables, but it gets very, very hot. It's very hot if this team doesn't make a bowl game. They're going to have to upset somebody. My brain tells me Mizzou, but, I mean, you saw Mizzou score 21 against Auburn, all offensive. We couldn't even do that. So
maybe Ole Miss. I mean,
maybe
that's
Ole
the
Miss.
Spark. What if that's the spark? Like, hey, coach got fired. Maybe the players play better now.
It could be. It very well could be. It's a classic trap game.
I don't have any faith in our offensive line.
I don't either. I barely want to turn the game on Saturday morning, but I'm a sicko, so I'm not going to miss a snap. But
what is? I have the question for you.
I have lots of questions, but go ahead.
Jacob Sexton.
Ass. At tackle, complete dog shit.
Why not move him to right? He played right last year, and he showed great signs.
I don't know.
He doesn't have to be.
But they moved Michael Tarquin to right, and that's his worst position.
Yeah,
he's our best offensive lineman at left tackle. He's our worst offensive lineman at right tackle.
Yeah, he's great at left tackle. Put Sexton at right. I don't know.
Yeah, let Jake Taylor just sit, please. He's so hurt.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with Jacob. Like, going into the season, is like, hey, the tackle position is going to be a big necessity. Jacob Sexton, he came in when Tyler Guyton decided to make a business decision. He looked good. You needed him to basically be the cast iron skillet. All right, you have him and you forget about him. Yep. He's that damn good. I mean, it was pathetic watching him play football on Saturday. So I don't know. Hate to rag on a kid, but
yeah,
come on, do something.
Yeah.
And it could be
like
the scheme.
meme.
I mean, who knows what it is? Like, I mean, maybe they're just put in bad positions. Maybe they're not being coached well. Which, if that's the case, I just can't. I can't think that's the case with Bill Bedenbaugh being the offensive line coach.
That's the most confusing thing to me is like we all knew that it was going to be a problem on the offensive line going into the season, but
Well, they're all banged up, so like there's that as well. But
yeah, but at the same time, it's like Bill Bedenbaugh is one of the greatest offensive line coaches.
if these guys are truly banged up and they're like, it's to the point where they can't block anybody, they can't move correctly.
The freshman.
That's basically what the season is now. Is like, hey, what do we have in these guys?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the season's lost. I mean,
yeah,
they're gonna have to fight like hell just to make a bowl game. Might as well put the freshman in there, burn some shirts. Who cares? See what you got in these dudes because you're gonna need them next year.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's enough of the game. I mean, look, defense played great, like we said, under 250 yards. Jackson came in, had 225 passing, had some drops. JJ Hester can't catch a clean fucking football.
Well, why the fuck was? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get so aggressive, but
no, you're good.
Why the hell was Jackson Arnold throwing it 90 miles an hour?
That was the other thing I was about to say. It's like Jackson was throwing.
Like, he was throwing late. He was like, it was behind the receiver. I don't blame Hester. I mean, he looked frustrated, but I'm watching the game and he has these drops where he's having to catch it. I mean, the ball is away from his route.
It's like an Oldest Chapman fastball behind his head.
Yeah, like, well, what is he supposed to do? I mean, he's struggled catching the ball this season. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
Hey, Arnold, why don't you throw anticipatory throws? Like,
half of it is the fact that Jackson's so late on a pass, he has to put everything into it to get it there.
Yeah, and we don't have a QB coach, and I don't blame Littrell for that. They were like, hey, you want to be the QB coach? He's never played
quarterback.
Yeah, they're like, hey, can you be the offensive coordinator and the QB coach? I mean, he said yes to it, but I mean,
can't necessarily say no.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's on him to hire one. Yeah. Kevin Johns is doing it now, but I mean, he's only been on staff since February, so. The only good thing to come out of the offense was true freshman PWO Jacob Jordan.
Yeah,
out of South Lake Carroll, Texas. 8 catches, 86 yards. He just looks like a detail-oriented guy that knows what he's supposed to be doing. Look, he gets, it's 4th and 16. He runs an 18-yard route. Just knows to get in front of the sticks. Don't get to the sticks, get in front of the sticks. Right? You're going to catch it. You're going to catch it falling back towards the ball. He's just, yep. Dude, right there. Did you see what Toby Rowland said on Coach's Center last night?
No, I didn't.
He said that he didn't realize he had to look at the OU's website to realize that Jacob Jordan was actually. He was like, I've seen him multiple times. He just thought he was an equipment kid. He didn't realize he was an actual football player on the team.
Secret weapon.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Jacob Jordan looked great. I almost think he should have been a fucking captain this week for that dumb shit that OU still does with their weekly captains. It should have been him. Yeah, it's very dumb, but it is what it is. Whatever, it works for the team. I mean, nothing works for the team at this point, but
yeah,
it works. But yeah, so it's super cool seeing that. I think he's going to get a huge uptick in snaps.
Caleb Hicks, he had a run, nothing was there, and he got like 11 out of it.
Yeah,
and we just stopped handing him the ball.
Yeah,
he's a guy we've talked about all off season. I'm confused, like, as to what's going on.
I think it's
also, is Gavin Sawchuk gone? Like, is he going to transfer?
In the Brent's press conference today, he said that he was good and healthy all week, and he pulled his he's trained a muscle during pregame warmups.
Okay.
So
I can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Nobody can.
Surprise. I think part of what it is with the Caleb Hicks thing, and I think it's the same reason we don't see Jaquez Petaway, but it frustrates me because we still keep seeing Taylor Tatum as explosive as he can be. I feel like the offense is so bad and they're scrambling for so much. Like, Heath Ozada played 9 snaps, but because Sexton was so bad at left tackle that they had to move him into guard. But I don't know, whatever. they're so pressed to make things right and to make things go. If you fuck up once, they're willing to just pull you and sit you for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Caleb Hicks had a fumble, didn't he?
I don't think so. Javonte,
I thought he was one of the. Javonte did. Jackson had a couple.
He also got hit in like a. He got hit on like a really. He was in like an awkward position too. So.
Yeah, but
I thought the call. So like as much as I harped on Sexton kind of being like just bad, yeah. The blindside block was kind of odd.
Yeah, that was. That was a pretty
really
sketchy call in my opinion, but
whatever. I mean,
it took away the biggest play he's had all season.
Yeah. Well, no, I thought it was just a stupid call. Like even when they were showing it back, I mean, even the broadcast was like, I don't know, it didn't really look like it affected the play. I mean, you can't do that, but
yeah, but also
like he didn't. What do you do? He barely even touched him.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the SEC stops that, but they gave Texas the catch 2 weeks ago and let them throw fucking water on the field. So it is what it is. We'll get into that here in a minute, but I mean, I don't really have any other further thoughts of the game. Like I said, season's washed. I just hope that you can make the most out of it, and get a bowl game because those 14 extra practices are going to be pretty important. So,
yeah.
Ready to move on?
Yeah.
So the biggest game of the day, the one that everyone was talking about leading up all week, Georgia, number 5 Georgia, rolled into Austin, Texas to take on the number 1 ranked, at the time, 6-0 Texas Longhorns. And for a while, it looked like they were just going to blank them on their own turf.
Good God, man.
Like it was 23-0 at halftime.
And to be honest, Carson Beck didn't really play that well either.
No.
And Texas's defense, I thought they were really good for most of the game. Like, I mean, their offense just couldn't get anything going. Quinn couldn't find anybody down the field. Their offensive line, I mean, they had a rough game. Like,
did you see that
in the backfield all fucking night.
I've been seeing people talk about it like all day on Twitter. Did you see that 3-3 stack that Georgia ran? They turned it into a double mug with 4 down linemen. Did you see that?
So that was like right before they snapped the ball, right? Because they were
they motioned into it, right?
Yeah, I saw it as it happened.
Oh
it was
my
right before
God.
the snap happened. It was just good timing by the Georgia's still Georgia.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart just has a Bama problem. He has a Bama problem. Like he can't beat Bama. He beat him in the national championship, which matters the most. But like SEC championship or regular season, he can't beat Bama. So it is just what he does. I thought it was just masterclass of defensive-minded head coach going up against one of the smarter offensive-minded coaches in college football.
Yeah.
And that Georgia defense was incredible. Coverage, assignment, physicality. Kelvin Banks had been amazing all season. Yeah. And he's a guy that had really grown compared to what he was last season. I mean, even he struggled. I mean, that's how good Georgia's defense was. Interior. Yeah. I mean, their center's a really good player too. Like their entire offensive lines are really good. Georgia's just on a different level, man. I mean,
that's what happens when you have difference makers 1 through 4 at every position on your defense.
It still felt like it's 23-0 going into halftime. It felt like the offense is going to start like picking up, like they're going to score points, and it looked like they were rallying a comeback. It ended up being 23-15 at one point, and it felt like, okay, Texas, like their defense is playing well. Georgia can't orchestrate a drive. Carson Beck isn't playing well. Humphreys is dropping the ball. The game plan wasn't good as far as like the passing game. Passing game coordinator could not get guys open. Like couldn't scheme anybody open. Carson Beck was getting pressured. Alfred Collins, that's a damn good player. I've been talking about him for a long time, but I thought he had his best game. And he was stopping the run, getting in the backfield. It felt like Texas, like there was a reason they were the number one team, and they were going to start orchestrating the comeback, and they were going to win at home in tremendous fashion, like a massive comeback.
Yeah.
And Georgia had like an 89-yard drive to score a touchdown, 4th and goal. I mean, half-yard line.
Yeah.
The reverse flea flicker, my favorite college football play. They ran that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So sick.
Their offensive line, I thought, played really good too. Georgia's.
Yeah.
Their offensive line was
fantastic.
That's having guys that can move people off the damn rock.
Yeah.
What do we know about that? We haven't seen that since damn 2018, 2019.
Fuck, I know.
Yeah. But yeah, I miss Creed Humphrey so much. But anyway, we should just talk about the PI. That was an awesome moment in the game.
Yeah.
It was a horrible call. It was a bad call.
But the fact that they could will those SEC officials to overturn that by throwing all that shit on the field is just beyond me.
Well, yeah, so the interception happens. Coaches get together. I mean, they throw the flag. Coaches get together to say it's a pass interference. I mean, it wasn't. It was just great coverage. I mean, he used his hands correctly.
It was almost more so on the receiver than it was on the DB.
I guess.
I mean, it wasn't. I wouldn't have called it on either one, but if they're going to throw that flag, like.
It would have been more illegal contact, which isn't a penalty in college. That's an NFL penalty.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
If anything, I guess it would have been illegal contact. I think the ref threw it thinking he was watching the NFL and was like, "Oh, that's illegal contact." And it's like, "Hey, man, that's not a penalty in college." Yeah, they call it. Fans go berserk. Matthew McConaughey on the sideline. He's pissed. Fans are throwing water bottles, beer cans. The first guy that threw the beer can, shout out to him. He probably feels like a hero right now.
Oh, yeah.
But basically everybody's having to the cheerleaders. I mean, they're running onto the field because they're getting hit with beer cans. Hey, leave those cheerleaders alone, okay? And have one of them hit my line. They finally get together, and because of what Texas fans did, I mean, what kind of precedent does this set in your mind? Because they reversed the call after Texas fans went berserk and started throwing shit on the field.
I mean, next time I see a call not go my way, I think I'm just going to start shooting people.
All right, it's like take notes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What if I had a thought, and I was thinking about this today. What if, like, the SEC officials were trying to see what if they were testing to see if Texas fans were SEC ready? And that's why they threw the flag.
Maybe.
Like, hey, are you really SEC? Well, we're about to find out. Throw the flag and shout out Texas fans. For as much as we hate Texas, I mean, that was incredible, dude. Yeah.
Did you see the university reaching out to fans that were there that they identified as students and telling them they revoked their student packages for all sporting events in the 2024-2025 school year?
That's stupid.
Pussy shit, right?
Yeah, that's stupid. And they were fined. The university was fined $250,000.
That
was stupid. Come on, Greg Sankey. I thought it meant more.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, it was stupid. You know what?
It was sick though when it happened.
I'm gonna put my differences aside. Shout out Longhorns fans. Yeah, I know you rose to the occasion. You passed the test, and so yeah, I guess you're SEC now. Did you see Matthew McConaughey's tweet?
All
right, Matthew McConaughey decided to send a tweet regarding the incident that happened in the game after the pass interference with all the beer bottles and water bottles being thrown on the field. Longhorn Nation, and specifically our DKR student section. It's the MOC McConaughey coming at you here. Listen, first off, you were electric Saturday night. When you hosted Georgia, bravo. Let's continue to bring that passion, bring the heat. All right, even though our Horns didn't get the W, you created a measurable home field advantage. I don't feel like Matthew McConaughey would say that sentence right there. You created a measurable home field advantage. You'd probably say, hey, you need to bump up those numbers. All right, we need to bump up that. Wolf of Wall Street. Anyway, he said, but let's get real about battle bombing the field glitch we had. Not cool. Bogey move. I don't know if he would say bogey move either. But yeah, anyways, he went on to go in and say, hey, you need to be better as fans. I felt like that was, I don't know. I feel like that Matthew McConaughey did not write that at all.
No,
I feel like
not at
Matthew
all.
McConaughey would have been more like, hey, let's do that again. That was awesome.
I bet the
I feel like
university
he was the one
came
that
out
orchestrated it. I bet he told that kid to throw the beer can.
probably. He's like, you throw the beer can, I'll let you be in one of my movies.
Yes. Throw that beer can. Be a lot cooler if you did.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like the University of Texas had him come out and say that because they were like, they're not going to listen to us. Now they're going to listen to Matthew McConaughey.
He said, next up, November 9th, when the Gators come to town, let's make sure they feel the heat. Can't hear play calls, burn the timeouts. But remember, nothing hits our field except that Texas fight. I feel like Texas fans should throw more beer bottles. That should be a new tradition.
I think they should only throw them at Matthew McConaughey now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all scumbags.
Exactly.
And they should be. They're SEC. Maybe
I think every fan base should have just a large subset of scumbags that almost ruin it for everybody else.
But anyway, it felt like Texas was orchestrating a comeback, and Georgia just said, no, we're still Georgia. They wrote us off, but we didn't write back.
Still the funniest Geno Smith thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
And it feels more like something Jameis would have said.
Texas is still a really good team, and I think they're still probably good enough to win a national title.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, they put Arch in to try to bring in a spark, and we talked about it over text. It just felt like Texas's offense, we're not going to be able to move the ball regardless of who was in at quarterback because Georgia's defense was just playing so damn good.
Yeah. It was one of those, like, you had to throw everything you could at them if you wanted a shot to come back in that game, but everyone kind of knew it was.
Well, and then the sideline photo of both Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers on the bench just looking scarred from having to play that football game. That doesn't really help. I mean, they were rattled.
Did you see the people?
No, Isaiah Vaughn had some big time plays.
He did. Did you see people comparing Arch to Eli?
Nuh-uh.
And his, that meme of Eli where his hair is like all crazy, he's getting his ass kicked. They're comparing that Arch photo to Eli.
Oh man.
So funny, so funny.
I think Arch probably should have stayed in for a little bit longer. Don't you think?
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like you just needed Quinn to sit down for a minute and kind of cool off, and then.
You think if they kept Arch in there, then the actual story of Quinn Ewers sitting out for the rest of the season would have came true?
Yes. If you didn't see it, 24/7 Sports posted and then on Instagram and immediately deleted a story that Quinn Ewers was going to sit out the remainder of the 2024 season to prepare for the NFL draft.
I believe it. I 100% believe that. I think that's true.
It could be.
Yeah, no, I think it is.
Sounds like some Texas shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Quinn Ewers, you heard it here first. He is going to be sitting the rest of the season. This is now Arch's team. He will be declaring for the NFL draft before the Gators come to town. Yes.
You sure about that? Quinn came out and said it was fake. They had a whole graphic and caption and everything put together.
How long have you known me? 2.5 years?
Roughly.
You know that's a reliable source, the 247 Sports. So I'm going to believe it. But yeah, no, Texas, it doesn't really feel like their backs are against the wall. They got Vandy. They got to go to Vanderbilt. We know Vanderbilt.
Ranked Vandy at this point. Yeah.
Toughest place to play in the SEC.
Yeah. So. They Saban said it first.
Yeah. Anyway, that game was awesome, though. I mean, shout out to just that entire environment, DKR. At least, Quinn Ewers and Texas trying to make orchestra to come back. Mm-hmm. Kirby Smart's still Kirby Smart. Georgia hasn't gone anywhere. Regardless of how they looked on the season, I still think they could also win a national title.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't ever feel like Georgia was in trouble after the Bama loss.
No, I didn't either.
The one thing that came to my head wasn't, oh, yeah, this isn't the same Georgia. It was, oh, yeah, Kirby Smart just has a Bama problem. So
yeah,
that's basically what it was. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the season. The game before that one. Want to talk about it?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
So, Alabama, Tennessee. 2 years ago, Bama rolled into Knoxville. They were undefeated at that time, I believe, right?
Both teams, yeah.
And and Hendon Hooker led what was just an absolute amazing game. And Tennessee got their first win over Bama in quite some time, I want to say. I don't remember how long it was, but it was a while. And then kind of rolling into this one, Alabama obviously had the loss to Vandy after the win against Georgia. So everyone's like not really sure where they see Alabama. They didn't have the really, really close game against South Carolina, the really scary one there. And then Tennessee had been slumping on offense pretty much after the OU game. Obviously, they had lost to Arkansas. They come in this game it was 7-0 at halftime. It was 3 straight games Tennessee had been shut out in the first half.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of figured it was over. And then Tennessee scores 14 in the third quarter, 10 in the second, or 10 in the fourth, and just goes on to win the game. And it was an amazing game. Yeah. It was awesome.
Even though, I mean, it was low scoring, but I mean, I agree with you. I thought it was a really good game.
You got a bit of everything. You got stellar defense, you got good offense, you got explosive plays. You had everything you needed.
Well, and it seemed weird because, I mean, it felt like, well, Tennessee's offense, we thought that could be an absolutely lethal group. And then Nico struggled. I mean, like Oklahoma, and then obviously Arkansas. I mean, even points of Florida, and then this game. I mean, he threw probably the most boneheaded interception I've seen him throw all season, and it was like this kid, like his development it's been rough because he's had to play really good defenses, but he bounced back in a big way. He had some big throws. Dylan Sampson really couldn't get going until the second half. He ended up rushing for 139 yards. That's a good player.
Oh yeah,
that's a really good player. And their offensive line struggled too. And Bama's defense hadn't been just some juggernaut. I mean, they've had their issues.
They rank in the 60s.
Yeah, which is
not
middle
terrible,
of the pack college football.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're. I mean,
that's not where you expect Alabama to be, though.
I mean, they lost Terrion Arnold, Caleb Downs. I mean, they have Overton. He's their best pass rusher. It's not even close. That guy's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're trying to figure out their groove. I mean, they'll be Kalen DeVore's excellent recruiter. Bama can get the best players in the world, so they'll end up figuring it out. But yeah, no, I mean, Nico just ended up outplaying Jalen Milroe in the second half, and that was kind of the decider in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, really, the decider in the game was Dylan Sampson just absolutely becoming a force.
Yeah, turning back into that running back that he was to start the season.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, Bama, they're not dead. I mean, they're not national championship caliber. I know Bama fans are. I mean, we talked about this before the season started. What were Bama fans how are they gonna react when they lose 2 games in the season? I mean, you got a brand new coach. You got to give him time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
he's won everywhere he's been. I mean, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, no, Alabama's going to be fine, especially the amount of resources they have. After Saban went that, like, they are dedicated to doing one thing and one thing only, and that's winning.
Look, they're not going to be. I don't think any team is going to be the same team, like NIL, transfer portal. These teams are dedicating a lot of resources to get the best recruits because they want to win. I mean, look at Tennessee. Look how much they spent. $8 million.
How much Ole Miss spent?
Yeah, Ole Miss. I mean, it's tough. Like, this is the grind of the new Power Four. I mean, even the Big Ten. Like, Oregon is going to end up losing a game, maybe, and then it's going to be like, oh, they weren't, oh wow, like they'll lose a game that they probably shouldn't, and we'll laugh about it, but they beat Ohio State. Like, I mean, you're just going to beat each other up. I mean, it feels like
it's essentially the NFL at this point.
Yeah.
Anybody can beat anybody on any given day, unless you're Oklahoma. Then you have no shot at beating anybody.
Next year. Yeah. It's been a kind of a cycle for Brent Venables. First year sucked. Second year, awesome. And we get to wear white next year for the Red River, so.
That's been the key.
Yeah.
The away team has won the last 3, right?
Nope, 6.
Not last 6, because we won like 4 straight.
Well,
we won 19, 20,
was white,
21.
20. Well, yeah, 6 of the last 7.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So I don't really know what to make of Tennessee because they're a really fucking good football team, and I think they're SEC championship caliber. But I don't know, can their offense sustain the grind of the 14 team or the 12 team playoff? I think their defense is good enough, or at least their front seven. Their front seven is really good, and they got players on the edge, interior, linebackers are pretty good. Their secondary stepped up in a big way. I mean, maybe this is the turning point for their secondary. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of. I'm gonna have to see it to believe it for me right now because I believe in Josh Heupel. I think he's a fantastic coach, but his teams have had that tendency to kind of just fall apart. Especially since he's been at Tennessee, things can start strong, they kind of just they fall apart towards the end. So it's just one of those deals. You're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that after the Arkansas loss.
Yeah.
So they have Kentucky next, and then so they get 2 home games next. Kentucky goes to Neyland, and then so does Mississippi State. Which Mississippi State, they're 1-6, not a very good football team, but they can score points. So they're going to have to – Jeff Lovey's going to dial some stuff up for them. Then they go and play Georgia in Athens.
That'd be a hell of a game.
Yeah. And then they get a monster in UTEP, and then they have to go play Vandy.
Hey, man. UTEP Vandy back-to-back is pretty tough.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not kidding. And then for Bama, I mean, they should beat Mizzou. I would think they would. They play the big LSU rivalry in Death Valley.
And then they got the gauntlet that is the Oklahoma Sooners in Norman.
Oh, don't forget Mercer, too. They got to play Mercer.
Shit. I don't even know if we'd beat Mercer. That's actually the most serious thing I've said all day.
No. Yeah, no, I mean, it's been...
Wow, it's depressing. There were a lot of games this weekend that were entertaining. Oklahoma State BYU was a fun one. I saw a tweet that said that BYU receiver at the end was dodging Oklahoma State players like they were premarital sex, drugs, and alcohol, which made me laugh pretty hard. Iowa State's comeback against UCF was dope.
It felt like Oklahoma State had a chance to win that game with Rangel in. I stepped away from the TV for just a moment to use the restroom, and I came back and he was on the ground and getting treatment from the medical.
Broke his collarbone.
That's rough. I mean, he had snapped the ball and played a down, and then I went to the restroom. I come back, and I guess they had already done another play, and he was on the ground.
Yep.
So I didn't even get to see how it happened. I didn't go back and watch either. I was like, oh, man, like I feel bad for Oklahoma State fans because he was kind of dealing. I mean, he was
he was playing well.
We had some throws on the run. He had the throw to Ollie Gordon. It looked like he was orchestrating a comeback of his own.
Yeah, fuck.
He finally had 100 yards rushing, but I mean most of it was on that explosive play. But he also had he had a reception for a touchdown too. So he had 3 total touchdowns. Ollie Gordon, good player. But
Miami Louisville was an absolute shootout.
Yeah,
52-45 was the final there. That was crazy. Like I said, Iowa State had a great comeback against UCF. Clemson is just a wagon at this point, which very interesting case study with Clemson because the whole transfer portal thing. Do you think they have the capability, as well as they've been playing, do you think they have the capability to make a deep run in the playoff?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Miami's still
I think they're back on. I think they're back on PEDs, and that's what it is. Pray every day. And so,
them and BYU.
Yeah, which we're gonna have the Holy War soon. That's gonna be interesting for BYU and Utah.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. Fucking Utah only scored 7 points against TCU.
Well, they don't have Cam Rising, so.
Yeah, and their offense coordinator stepped down on Sunday. Did you see that?
No.
Andy Ludwig stepped down.
Wow.
Yeah, he resigned.
He's been there for a few years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I might be making that up. I don't know. It feels like he's been there for a while.
Yeah, he's been there for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah, Notre Dame handled business.
Vanderbilt as well. You know what really sucks to keep looking at Iowa put up like double-digit points on offense? Makes me sick to my stomach.
We absolutely switched with them. You know
Colorado destroyed Arizona.
you could talk about Miami being like the best team in the ACC right now. Like they should win the ACC with Cam Ward and that offense and how they've recruited. I don't know, man. SMU. I know they haven't had a gauntlet of a schedule, but they are. I mean, they're smacking teams around. Preston Stone hasn't been playing. It's been Kevin Jennings.
Yeah.
That guy. I mean, he's an athlete. And SMU. I mean, they've just looked completely different.
Yeah.
Since that loss. I mean, let's see. They get Duke. Be a fun game. Then they get Pitt. They might lose that game to Pitt.
I think Pitt's still undefeated, aren't they?
And that's another thing. Pitt. I mean, Miami doesn't have to play Pitt. Or did they already play Pitt?
No. They're both undefeated.
Yeah, so I mean, watch out, dude. Like Miami. I mean, it's not going to be like a cakewalk. I know they have better players than everybody else, but do they have better players?
They've shown lots of vulnerabilities.
Yeah, it's basically just been Cam Ward having to be, play hero ball and save the day.
Yeah, he's pretty much just Jesus at this point.
He's amazing. He's already like third place in my Heisman.
Behind Ashton Jensen and Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Army and Navy still undefeated, still just rolling through teams like crazy.
Army's going to be in the playoff, right? Maybe. Like if I had to choose right now between Army and Navy, I'm going who's the better quarterback. And Bryson Daly can throw the ball. I mean, he can rip it.
Oh yeah.
For an Army quarterback.
He had 31 carries, 171 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, the triple option, it's just
ridiculous. My God.
You can't really prepare for the triple. I mean, these teams that have to play Army can't prepare for it. Is Notre Dame going to be able to prepare?
They're throwing it so efficiently.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, Navy is an absolute wagon, too. They beat the dog shit of Charlotte. With Charlotte, it is what it is. But who does Navy have to play next? Notre Dame?
Yeah. Dude, that's going to be a fucking fantastic game.
If game day wasn't going to Indiana next week, they would need to definitely do that game. Navy and Notre Dame.
The Friday night, number 17 Boise State UNLV play. And USC has to play Rutgers.
Yeah, Genty.
Oh man, that's gonna be. I can't wait. This weekend's gonna be awesome, and we got some fire ass fights this weekend too. So, this weekend's gonna be great. But you have any other thoughts on college ball from week 8?
No, I mean not really. It was a fun slate. LSU's starting to look kind of scary, man. I mean they're pulling it together.
Yeah.
Will Campbell may be a top 3 pick in this coming draft. I would be surprised if he's not top 5. Like he's pulled it together since USC.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
And Nussmeier there's just throws that Nussmeier, sometimes he throws the ball, like he gets the ball out of his hands and it's like he looks like an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, quick release point, Duke can rip it. They always have good wide receivers, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who does LSU have next? Alabama, and then Florida, Vanderbilt, and they end the season with Oklahoma. So Oklahoma's defense is going to need to find something there. Kansas State's a wagon. They smacked West Virginia. Shocker.
Yeah, I know. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, I don't have any other thoughts really other than really sad for my boys just across the ways from me. Couldn't handle the fight against Memphis.
Hell of a game, though.
Yeah, I know. It was a hell of a game. I mean, they were so close. They were orchestrating a comeback. And, I mean, the failed 2-point conversion, it felt like after that, like, yeah, there's no way they're going to be able to, they couldn't stop the run. I mean, Anderson for Memphis, I mean, he ran all day on them. So it's like you get a couple of first downs, make UNT burn all their timeouts. And, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
But happy for Chandler Morris, man. He's been playing well this season. And I'm happy for my dude, DT Sheffield, because I loved him in college football when I had him in Dynasty. Guy just always made big plays. And they used him on some end around stuff too. So, yeah, my boys, North Texas. This weekend, I got my shift taken, but
Nice.
a big game. There are two big games for me. OU, Ole Miss, obviously, and Tulane, North Texas. Big rivalry game. I will be watching that game.
North Texas will be fun. Oh man, Penn State, Wisconsin, sleepy good game. What else we got? Missouri, Alabama's this weekend.
Yeah, I'll be watching Penn State, Wisconsin too, rooting for the Badgers.
Fuck you. Texas, Vanderbilt will be a big one.
Yeah, we'll
Wild
get
to say. LSU, A&M this weekend is going to be huge as well. So,
We'll-
but yeah,
we'll get
we'll get
into
into
that.
all this in our weekend preview. But I do want to go ahead and kick it over to you for week 7 of the NFL.
Yes. Had some good games, had some stinkers. That's just kind of been the NFL in a nutshell the past few weeks. So we'll chip it away to good old London. Cheerio, bro. No more London games. That was the last London game, right?
Yeah, we have one Germany game though.
You're going to be playing in Munich. It sounds like mucus. Yeah, those fucking shows in Munich.
Good thing I've been doing my Duolingo and practicing on my German, so I'll know what they're saying on the broadcast.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. They should play. The Colts should be play. Is the Colts going to be in Munich, or who's playing in the Munich game?
Who is the Munich game? It is awful podcasting. Giants, Panthers.
Oh my God, I feel bad for Munich fans. It should be.
that should be the Fourth Reich. Like that is.
Well, I was.
It might be the start.
I was gonna say it should be the Colts playing that game, and then you can make the joke of rise and fall of the third Steichen.
Okay.
Shane Steichen.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Start the London game. The Jacksonville, or I should say the Tottenham Jaguars, because they've been there for fucking 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They live there. Yeah, they beat the Patriots 32-16.
They had all their tea from them. They didn't let them get to their tea.
Yeah, I know. And Drake May was so awesome on that first drive that they were up 7-0 to start the game. And it was just like, yeah, Doug Peterson's probably going to be gone. But credit to him and credit to the Jaguars.
They were up 10-0.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm saying, like, I felt the game. I thought it was.
Oh, after the first drive. I
Yeah.
understand.
So, shout out, the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence had a pretty good game throwing the ball. Brian Thomas, I think he's probably at this point established himself as the best rookie receiver. I mean, I have Roma Dunze, but I'm not gonna argue that Brian Thomas has been the best rookie wide receiver with Malik Neighbors not being able to play the past couple of weeks. That's the only reason I'm saying that. But he had a good game. The quote that Gerard Mayo had for the Patriots, saying that they were a soft team. Does that get the guys fired up? I mean,
I don't know. I feel like that kind of starts the coaching staff, though.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think of Gerard Mayo? Like, is it like one of those you got to give him like a couple more years, build through the draft, see what it looks like?
Yeah. No, you do.
100%.
In the same vein, though, the Patriots aren't used to this anymore. After the whole Brady era, like they're not used to losing. That's all they've done the last few years. But they have to let him.
Care. They don't even care. They got the Celtics.
True.
They have the Celtics and they have the Bruins. I mean, the Bruins are going to be they're still going to be good. They get to root for Pasternak. They get to root for Joe Mazzulla. So, like, they know that this thing about Patriots fans is like, it sucks. You don't want to see your team not be good, but they know, like, yeah, we had it so good,
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I think you do have to give them time.
Yeah, with anything, it's because like Robert Kraft is kind of getting up there in age, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you're gonna have to win some. Do you think Gerard Mayo is going to be the coach that's going to help you win another one?
I don't know. I think there's only so many times when you can go to the well of look at it with OU. you can only go to the former player well so many times. Like, and it has to work if you do, because then it's going to just be an ugly situation if it doesn't, and you have to fire him.
Yeah, and Patriots fans are probably also in the realm of like Robert Kraft, or Robert Kraft probably already knows, like he's won all of his Super Bowls, before he's put 6 feet under. It's not the same situation with Jerry Jones where he won his 3 Super Bowls and then he's had 30 years of just being
mid as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, like his own fan base hates him. So, and speaking of Jerry Jones, did you see what he said about Mike McCarthy? How he was saying that his offensive game plan and play calling wasn't putting his players in position to succeed.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You hired the guy.
I know.
Anyway, that was like our Cowboys talk. But I don't know. I mean, the Jaguars kind of needed this win, right?
Yeah.
Like, you play what's on your schedule, and you're playing a team right now that has a rookie quarterback who Drake May's looked pretty good. I mean, he hasn't been perfect, but he had a couple of drives in that game, like big boy throws.
Yeah.
So he just needs to figure it out with Jalen Polk, and then that'll get going.
Hank Bigsby is a motherfucker, man. He's good.
I was thinking about this. Like, there's a lot of cool, like, rookie names in the NFL right now. Last year we had Tank Bigsby.
Yeah.
Now last year we had Tank Dell. Now we have Tank Bigsby.
He's not a rookie this year, though.
Tank Bigsby?
Yeah.
Well, there's just a lot of cool names in the NFL, anyways.
Okay.
So, gone are the days of Refrigerator Perry and Cadillac Williams. We got fucking Tank Bigsby and Tank Dell, Yaya Diaby, Tyreek Funderburg.
Yeah.
That's another one to keep your eye on. Did you know? I got to look this up because I saw this. His Tank Bigsby's real name is Cartavius Bigsby. Cartavius is a pretty sick name.
It is. It's just like CD, Sedarian.
Yeah, Sedarian. Yeah, CD Lamb. That's another sick name.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we just have a bunch of players with sick names in the NFL.
Jordan Love. I mean, awesome name. Awesome player. Great guy.
Yeah. Roma Dunze is sick.
I do actually. I've been, and you know this. Roma Dunze was my favorite player in the draft last year. My favorite player in college last year, and I hate that he's a Bear with my entire soul.
The Jaguars kind of have a tough slate coming up.
No, yeah, they have a gauntlet of a schedule.
Yeah, I got to pull it up because I forgot who they play. They play the Eagles, which we're about to find out. There's like a few teams.
They had the Packers next.
Yeah, I know. They have the Eagles, the Vikings, the Lions. Oh, yeah, they have the Packers next, and the Eagles, Vikings, Lions, Texans. I mean, good God. Like, that's a brutal schedule to have.
Especially coming into it 2-5. Like,
I mean, yeah. Absolutely brutal schedule to have. But I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah, no, they needed to win that game.
Oh, yeah. It was a must win.
So, Packers game. Whose line is it? Without looking, you probably already looked. So
I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Who do you think is? How much do you think the spread is, or the line is for Packers Jaguars? Remember, it's in Jacksonville, so it's in Duval.
Okay, I genuinely wait. It's in Duval. I thought it was in Green Bay.
That's in Duval.
I genuinely haven't looked. 4.5 Green Bay.
5.5 is what I see.
Okay.
5.5. I think that opens at that. I would not be surprised if it goes down to 4.5, just because it's going to be playing in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So they get to go home, rest a little bit. They had the game early, so
they were already home. What do you mean?
Yeah. Just go ahead and send that team to London. You can have the Jags.
Mine is fucking well, dude. Yeah. At this point.
I see ESPN. So yeah, I was looking at DraftKings. It was 5.5 on DraftKings. I'm looking at ESPN. It is 4.5.
Oh wow, nice. Look at me.
Good shit. Wow. Thanks, man. But we're definitely gonna. I mean, that should be a whopping, dude. We beat the absolute dog shit out of the Jaguars, and you're a better team than the Bears right now. So
yeah, Yeah, we should.
It also could be like an ultimate trap game.
It screams trap game,
Yeah.
but I think we'll be fine.
Do you have anything else on that game?
No, I saw a little bit of it, but they kind of ran away with the score, or they kind of ran away with it. So I figured it was.
Yeah, no, they New England had that touchdown. I think it was like 9 or 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I mean the Jags, they just went right down the field. Tank Bigsby got his second touchdown.
They're gonna have to run through Tank Bigsby though if they want to win some football games.
Yeah, he's a stud, dude. I like Tank Bigsby. I like him a lot. I liked him at
Auburn.
Yeah, guy's an absolute stud.
Yeah.
I mean, Doug Peterson is basically. I mean, he's kind of had some quotes where he's talked about, he's gonna basically it's an open practice for the running backs. Trevor Etienne's been hurt, or Travis Etienne, sorry, has been hurt, and obviously they're gonna be looking at it week to week, day to day in terms of who practices better, who's gonna start. But I mean, Tank Bigsby has been. He's younger. You still have a rookie contract on him. Do you maybe take a look at Etienne and say, let's see what we can get out of him? Trade him
possibly
because he's still a good player.
Yeah,
I know.
He's had some ball security issues though in the NFL.
I know a team that's all in that could use a running back.
Oh yeah, who's that?
The Jerry Jones Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All in my ass. Shout out Skip Bayless. Anyways, let's go to an exciting game. This game was awesome. Lions 31, Vikings 29.
Oh God, hell of a game.
I had the Vikings winning this one because bye week at home. It's just, it feels like you can't make a mistake. There's no room for error when you play the Lions. And I felt like this game showed because the Vikings played unbelievable in this game. Their defense was awesome. I thought Sam Darnold played really well other than the interception. Justin Jefferson was really good. Aaron Jones, I mean, he had the wide open touchdown run on their first drive. I mean, like nobody was there. Yeah. But I mean, good God, like
they got up on them early.
Yeah,
they were up 10-0, I think, right?
Yeah, they were up 10-0, and then the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, that guy's a football player, dude.
Oh, I love Jahmyr Gibbs.
Montgomery gets hurt. It's like, Knuckles gets hurt. It's Sonic. I mean, he gets so Knuckles Sonic. I think that's pretty cool. It's better than Thunder and Lightning, right?
Yeah, Thunder and Lightning's so old.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got Sonic and Knuckles. I mean, that's sick. But Sonic gets a pretty sick touchdown run. And it was back and forth from there. It sucks because the Bears had a bye week, and I feel like we lost the bye week. Not because we're last place in the division, but I'm watching everybody else in the division, and they just look so fucking good. The Vikings, remember like a couple of years ago when they were winning all these games and they were 8-1, and it was like there's something about this team. They're fraudulent. They're not as good as we made them out to be, or as they're made out to be, and they lose to the Giants in the playoffs. This doesn't feel like the same team, dude. Brian Flores, I mean, they had 31 points scored on him, and it felt like they were still, they were battling, dude. Like,
well, and that's the thing is like you talk about you can't make mistakes when playing the Lions. The Lions played so well. They had a fumble return given up for a touchdown at the end of the game, and still came back and won.
I know, man. Yeah, the Lions are a wagon.
They're the best team in football right now.
I think so. I agree with you. It's them and the Chiefs. Like them and Kansas City has their questions, which we'll talk about. But to be the best, you got to beat the best. So I'm still putting Kansas City up there. Jared Goff, he's having an MVP season.
He's been the most efficient quarterback in the NFL all season.
I saw a stat. He's got 88% passing. He's got 88% completion percentage through 3 games. The last players to do that were Aaron Rodgers, his MVP year, 2011, and I think Peyton Manning in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. It was 2 MVPs. It was 2 players that won MVP. I know Aaron Rodgers was one of them in 2011. He had that crazy year.
Yeah.
Jared Goff. I mean, what are his odds right now to win MVP? Can you look that up?
Yeah, let me see.
Go ahead and look it up. The Lions are just fucking good. And so are the Vikings, too. I mean, it's
The whole North is fantastic.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm not gonna. And I think I can do this because I think I have a quarterback of the future now. Like I believe in Caleb Williams so much that I don't have to put the other teams down as much. Like I can admit to myself, like these teams, like they've gotten their quarterback and they've had more time to like put their teams together than the Bears have. So like I don't think the Bears are gonna be just fine. But
The one thing that scared me
beast.
so far about the Bears is I don't feel like they've beaten anybody of note just yet.
Correct. And you're right about that. Like I can admit we played the Panthers and the Jags. There's a lot of teams, right? You play what's on your schedule though, and I had this.
That is true.
I kind of thought about this yesterday. Are there any like other than the NFC North and the Chiefs and maybe the Commanders? Are there like any like actual like good teams? Maybe the Bucks, Ravens.
In the NFC?
Well, just like all around. Like,
I mean,
let's put this together. I'm gonna go down a list real quick. In the AFC, the Jaguars. Tell me if they suck or if they're good or if they're mid. All right, good.
They suck.
Yeah, suck, mid, or good.
Okay.
All right, Jaguars.
Suck.
Titans.
Suck.
What the fuck? Oh, the Browns.
Suck ass.
Dolphins.
Injured, mid when healthy, but they suck right now.
Okay. I like that you put it that way. Good observation. The Raiders.
The Raiders?
Yeah.
They suck.
Jets.
They suck.
It's a lot of AFC teams that suck right now.
Yeah.
The Colts. If they have Anthony Richardson in.
With Anthony Richardson, they kind of suck.
With Joe Flacco.
And mid.
Okay. Yeah, see, I mean, it's just, let's go to the NFC. Or let me ask you this. Since, well, actually, you know what? We'll get into it later. We're going to talk about that team. In the NFC, I mean, it's basically the NFC North minus the Bears.
Let me put it to you this way. In the NFC, there's 5 teams that I could see making a run at the Super Bowl right now. In the AFC, there's 3.
Who are your 5 teams in the NFC?
In the NFC?
Obviously, the 3 teams in the NFC North, right? The Packers, Lions, and Vikings.
Yep. It's also the Bucks. I can see the Bucks getting hot, but now their defense is so bad they're beat up. It was the Bucks kind of coming into this weekend.
We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
So I got those 3.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's it. I still think the 49ers, when healthy, are a dangerous team, but they've been so beat to hell.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. You're right.
So, I mean, right now it kind of feels like the Packers, Lions, and Vikings.
So now you see why I've lost the bye week.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah. But that's okay because, I mean, Chicago got a little healthy. Hopefully we get Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker back. So we'll definitely see. But yeah, no, Jared Goff is playing MVP level quarterback.
By the way, he's 4th in MVP odds at plus 700 behind Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen.
So they're banking on Patrick Mahomes having like a late season like revelation.
Yeah, because he has not played well.
No, we'll get into that later. Also, I liked it when they were asking about Ben Johnson, like, hey, do you feel like you kind of like emptied the bag of tricks? And he was basically like, no, the well runs deep.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear. We're definitely going to get a Taylor Decker taking a snap and throwing a touchdown to Penei Sewell.
We have to.
And have to. I hope it happens against the Packers, but I think they're going to do it against the Bears defense. So, but yeah. No, the Vikings are a really good team. I think the Brian Branch, we talked highly about him when we were working at the credit union together and how we thought he was going to be a guy that should be picked in the 2nd round. Lions happened to get him. He had a sick interception. I mean, he ended up taking that almost the distance. Yeah. I think he stepped out of bounds.
You remember how when the Lions drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, and then Brian Branch, and we
Sam
both looked at
Laporta.
each other. And Sam Laporta. We both looked at each other and we were like, that's ridiculous. And that's going to make us so fucking angry. And all those dudes have just been studs.
Yeah. Jack Campbell has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
100%. Also, they are, I like that. I think it was Dan Campbell had a press conference where they were asking about Aiden Hutchinson and his recovery. And basically said that we're taking it, week to week. It's going to be a couple months, but he may be able to come back if we make it
for the Super Bowl. Yeah.
You got to have
the whole city's
going to
want to win it for him, dude.
Yeah, you need to have a glimmer of hope. I mean, there's no way he comes back, but I mean, you got to throw it out there for the fans. We like we like wishful thinking. Well, not necessarily wishful thinking, but we like hope as fans. And sometimes hope, hope ends up turning into good things. I got Caleb Williams. If we fired Seth Littrell, hopefully we'll see what ends up coming of that. But I like that they ended up coming up with that. Also,
this entire season, I'm manifesting that same Caleb Williams shit that you did with the Panthers. The Thunder, I don't know if you know this, have a conditional pick from the Clippers, and if the Clippers miss the playoffs, the Thunder get that pick. And if the Clippers are as bad, yes, Cooper Flag. If the Clippers are as bad as people think they could be,
lottery.
Yes.
Gotta win the lottery.
Oh, God.
Also, shout out to the Lions. That was the last thing I had. The shout out to the Lions kicker. That was a clutch field goal at the end of the game.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Clutch field goal. He was a salesman before.
A brick salesman.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a brick salesman. He moves kilos. So shout out to him.
Yeah. He was just a drug dealer. That's all it was. But I wonder where he's making more money as a kicker in the NFL or...
He's doing it on the side.
Moving some white powder.
Don't say anything, okay? We're not wearing a wire.
He's in Detroit. Of course he's doing it on the side.
Yeah. Just make sure he's not wearing a wire.
Exactly.
That game was awesome. Vikings, Lions, very good football teams. Next game. Good game for you. Packers 24, Texans 22.
We have a kicker, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you have a kicker. And shout out Brandon McManus. So... I'll let you go ahead and take it off. I want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, no. This is a game that I was inherently nervous about. It's kind of the biggest one on the schedule. Looking at it in the preseason, it was one of the biggest games on the schedule in the first half. I didn't expect the Vikings to be what they are.
They've only lost to NFC teams.
Yeah.
NFC North teams.
Yep. And it was a fantastic game. I mean, obviously it came down to the wire.
It was back and forth the entire time.
It was, and then the third quarter, the Packers come out of it, they score a touchdown, and then middle of the third quarter,
Jacobs, he was the one that got that was
his first receiving touchdown. Yeah.
He's had how many receptions?
It was over 200.
That was his first
212 or something like that. Yeah. And then from there, it was just stagnant. It was back and forth. Teams they'd kind of put a drive together, end up punting or turnover. Eric Wilson. Oh, my God. Eric Wilson has been fantastic. Absolutely fantastic at backer. Ezra Cooper looked good. The Packers' defense was super aggressive. Held C.J. Stroud to 86 passing yards.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
that
insane.
Offensive line is a problem.
Yeah, it's the thing holding them back right now.
Yeah, their offensive line is not very good right now.
And but the Packers, hey, shout out to the Texans. They got the field goal late in the fourth quarter, but I was out pretty much all morning. We were celebrating my little brother's birthday. So we were out all morning, and we went grocery shopping, got home right as the Packers' last drive started.
Yeah.
I got to sit down and just watch it all.
You basically the Texans, because that's what they've done. They had a lot of big wins last year, like game-winning field goals, putting together a drive.
Kind of your favorite.
The game management at the end just kind of seemed odd because there was still a minute and 45 to go when they kicked that field goal. And shout out to the Packers for being able to stuff the run. And Joe Mixon had played that obviously good player. We know Joe Mixon very well, but
yeah,
if you're a Texans fan, you're probably really upset that the game ended the way that it did because you basically had happened to you what you had been doing to other teams, like the Bills this season, Obviously, a bunch of games last season. The one that comes to mind to me is the Bucks. Like you'd been orchestrating game-winning drives, and you just had it happen to you. Which, I mean, that's like a measuring stick. I mean, that's like, hey, my balls are bigger than yours, and LaFleur and Jordan Love basically. I mean, that's what they did. Jordan Love ended up coming big.
Yeah.
At the end, but like the Packers are a good offense. Like they're going to score. You have to design, and I'm saying this like from a Texans fan. Like from a Texans fan point of view, like you have to know, like you have to bleed the clock more. Like if you don't think you can run the ball, if your offensive line has been a problem, like you have to design some stuff to be able to get first downs and make the Packers, bleed all their timeouts. But shout out to Matt LaFleur for like noticing it like quick and being like, oh, they forgot that we don't have Anders Carlson anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been
the
watching
fucking
the game
Niners do. Did you what did you think about the white helmets? I still think the yellow stripe is necessary, especially if the pants and the jersey is going to have the piping on it.
Well, I'll tell you this. How do you feel not getting that fucking over after stealing that pick from me?
Dude, oh my God.
Because it seemed like there was just going to be a bunch of points scored. I mean, it was 19-14 at half, and it was an easy 32-30 game in my eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you get. Football gods were looking out for me. I mean, again, I don't have a problem with the uniforms. I mean, the Packers are scumbags in my eyes, but you should wear those in frozen tundra.
Yeah, when it's cold, not when it's 80 degrees outside.
But I get it. You don't want to wear those against big time matchups against teams that also have historical sense like the Packers do. You can't play. You have to wear your yellow and green when you play the Bears and the Vikings, 100%. Or let's see who else is on the schedule.
Who do we have left?
Dolphins. I mean, that's in November 28th. You go up against the Dolphins. You can wear that. You can wear the all whites and have the Dolphins wear their color scheme, but they're probably they decide that way early on. So yeah, I don't know. At least you didn't wear them against the Jaguars in fucking Florida.
God, I know, right?
I guess you would want to because it's all white. It's gonna be hot.
Either way, though, getting back to the actual game, hell of a game. Romeo Dobbs looked great. Again, best hands on the team, catches absolutely everything. Defense is kind of feeling like it's rounding into shape. Evan Williams, again, I will continue to say it, my favorite rookie on this team. 5th-round pick, safety out of Oregon, just plays outstanding football. Had the stop on Joe Mixon on the 2-point conversion. Just a clean form tackle. He finds the gap. He shoots straight through. He looks like he plays safety like a linebacker almost. He's a true hybrid safety. And also, I'd like to play whatever team Stephon Diggs plays for every single season because him and Jair talk ridiculous shit to each other, and then Jair just goes out there and shuts him down.
Yeah, that's what good corners do.
Yeah. He
they had a struggling offensive line too. It's hard to do much when your guys are in the backfield.
Stephon Diggs' career numbers against Jair Alexander is the worst. It's the worst corner he's played against.
There's probably a lot of wide receivers that have a tough time against him.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's the best wide receiver who just owns Jair? St. Brown or Jefferson?
St. Brown's probably played the best. Jay Jettis is actually pretty even.
Yeah.
Jettis is pretty even.
You got to play him twice a year. No, he is.
Yeah. That's true. Amon-Ra is he's tough. Yeah. He's just such a crisp route runner. He gets open so quickly. But anyway, it's weird. You'd think Jair, being a smaller guy, would struggle a little bit more with the bigger physical dudes, but he really struggles more against the smaller, shiftier guys. So it's like the inverse.
It just, to me, it felt like the Packers were going to win the game. When they went up 7-3, he had the touchdown to Tucker Kraft. Yeah. It looked like it should have been picked off. And it just, I don't know if it went through the defender's hands or if it just barely missed him. It went through his hands.
It went straight through his hands.
It just
absolute missile.
Yeah, it just felt like, this is Packers day.
It was the perfect play call though. Tight end seam against cover 3. The safety's not going to be able to make it in time.
Yeah, that's true.
Perfect play call.
Yeah, Joe Mixon tried to do the Lambeau leap. You were watching the game.
He got stiff armed right in the face by Eddie Overall out there. So
yeah, scumbags. The scumbags of the Packers. But you got to defend the wall, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Does that guy get a promotion? Does he get season tickets now?
He should. I mean, I love Joe Mixon to death, but I'm not doing shit in our house. Not a Sooner anymore, buddy.
Yeah, he's a Texan. Doesn't have to pay state taxes. Good for him.
Yeah, must be nice.
Yeah, happy for you. Good game. Beat the Texans. Good team too. That offensive line's going to be an absolute problem for the Texans.
That's why when you asked me about the AFC earlier, when I mentioned the 3 teams that I like in the AFC, it's the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. It's because I don't trust the Texans' offensive line.
Unless they figure it out. Like they're going to have to. So I don't know what's going on there. They had a good offensive line last year. Or at least like they picked it up at the end of the season.
Yeah.
We'll see. Packers defense has gotten a lot better. Like it just shows like what a coordinator change can do. And then obviously playing better linebackers. And then getting your guys
Quade blows.
Having Xavier McKinney also helps a lot too. But your pass rush is good.
Yeah, they put Rashawn Gary in situations to actually be effective. There were plays where he was lined up outside and they'd motion him right over top of the center right as the ball snap. It is funny to me, though, to see Rashawn Gary try to chase people down because he looks so goofy when he's running.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good for you, man. You got a kicker.
Hell of a game. Yeah, thank God. All it took for him was a potential rape charge and then to get dropped by his team and then be acquitted. So I'll take it.
You had the Bills as like a team that you think could make a Super Bowl run?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bills 34, Titans 10. I mean, it just kind of felt like even when we previewed it, like it seemed, even with Mason Rudolph being the spark, which I had no idea, by the way. Like I picked the Bills defense in my DraftKings lineup, thinking that
gonna get another meme from Levis.
That Levis was starting. I totally forgot that they were going to start Mason Rudolph. 34-10. I mean, they took care of business.
Looked scary there for a second. They got up on him quick.
Yeah, I know. I mean, good God, like it's the fucking Titans. Which I like Bill Callahan, but I'm more of a Mike Vrabel guy. So like, I'm okay with them being 1-5, and because they've just ruined me this season every time I bet them. Like, I'm happy that I finally bet against them. And it was the right move because right now they're just not a very good football team. Brian Callahan, I like him. I think he's a good coach. They got to build the team up, and they will. I think they will.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna take some time.
So yeah, Josh Allen was incredible. 21-33, 323, 2 touchdowns. Still hasn't thrown an interception. As a like a guy that just absolutely hates Josh Allen and you've never liked him, and I know like you're probably thinking like, dude, stop jerking him off. Like, is this a Josh? Like, I mean, come on. Like, that was the thing with Josh Allen for everybody. Like, hey, if he could just, limit the amount of turnovers and interceptions he throws. Well, guess what? I mean, he's completely eliminated the turnovers. Maybe he's had a fumble here or there, but he hasn't thrown any interceptions. I mean, how are you feeling about Josh Allen?
Josh Allen, you always bring this up every single time. Josh Allen has turned a corner in my heart. He has stopped turning the ball over. He's stopped being super careless.
Like, you've never hated him, but you had that one comment where you were like, hey, he just needs to stop turning the ball over. And I'm going to defend my dude. So that's because, I had a pre-draft analysis in 2018 about him. So I got to stick up.
Absolutely crushed. So
I got to stick up for him, boy. Keon Coleman, he's arrived.
He's at the point where he can coach Amari Cooper on how to run routes. What routes to run. Huh?
Yeah, he didn't coach him. He came out and said, he was just confirming.
Oh.
Yeah, Amari knew what he was doing. He knew the routes. I didn't really know what that meant when he said that. Like, a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's clever," and I'm like, my dumb brain must not understand like what he meant by that, because like they were asking him like, what were you telling Amari Cooper at the goal line whenever he threw that, when Josh threw the touchdown to him, were you telling him what route to run? And he was like, we basically said in the post game press conference, no, he was just confirming with me. He knows the plays, he knows the routes. And then like I just saw a bunch of comments after that being like, "That's really smart of Keon Coleman to say that." I'm really dumb, so I don't know. Like, what do you take of that?
I mean, I don't think he's covering anybody. I mean, it's his first week with the team. If he's just confirming it, I don't think nothing too crazy of it. So
Yeah, I don't think it would have been crazy to be like, "Oh yeah, he was trying to figure out what to run with this play," and I told him.
Yeah,
He's being a good teammate. Either way,
exactly.
so I don't know, but yeah, Keon Coleman, stud. He's getting better. And then Ray Davis, he was their leading rusher, 41
I
yards.
fucking love Ray Davis. I loved him in college at Kentucky. Oh my god, something about a thick running back for me that just makes me go, dude.
Yeah, no, stop jerking off over there.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, no, I big fan of the Bills this season. And I'm glad that they're winning games because I have been a good team. Who do they play next? Yeah, they're going to beat the Seahawks. I think they'll beat the Dolphins, the Colts. I think they're going to be able to beat the Chiefs, and then they're going to think that they're good enough to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, and they'll probably lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs like they normally do. They have some games on here that are losable. I think they lose like 2 more games. Maybe they go like 12-5 or 13-4.
Yeah, I can see that. That's very realistic.
But, yeah, happy for Josh Allen. He's playing really good, and he's limited the. He has taken away the takeaways.
He's taken away my hatred for him. He has given me no reason to hate him any longer.
All right, good deal. I'm happy to hear that. Glad you came around. Next game, Eagles-Giants. Saquon had a day. 176 yards rushing, a touchdown. He couldn't be stopped. There's really just not much to talk about with this game. I mean, Daniel Jones got sacked like 10 times. Let's be real. I mean, even if the offensive line's playing good, he's probably not the quarterback of the future.
No, not at all.
They paid him the contract. I mean, the Giants are probably going to double down on it. Like, yeah, we made the right decision. They're going to get rid of Brian Daboll.
I mean, you have to, but
be free.
And come to Norman.
Yeah, that's true. Before we talk about the Eagles, can I ask you, like, in my lifetime, how the fuck did the Giants win 2 Super Bowls? Because it feels like they've just been an absolute dumpster fire.
Eli Manning, man.
No, it's not. I'll tell you who it is. Let me pull a picture of him. He's an awesome coach. Probably not going to be able to see it.
If you show me Tom Coughlin, I'll drive down there and punch him.
Hey, he started the Jaguars. He won the 2 Super Bowls with.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, Eli. That's another thing. They won 2 Super Bowls against Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And it just feels like they've been just a dumpster fire.
And I mean, they did need like the helmet catch and shit like that to happen, but
was it Mario Manningham or was it
no?
That had like in 2012, like the big catch.
Oh, on the sideline? Yeah.
Mario Manningham, yeah. Tyree Davis and I mean, like I can't like when I tell like if I have to tell people or like kids that weren't around for their 2 Super Bowl wins, like when they get older, when I was alive, the Giants won 2 Super Bowls. Are going to be like, really? You're going to have to go through like the archives. Like it's insane. This team is, and they got some work they got to do. I think they have the right head coach.
They got the right head coach. I think they got a good guy in the front office too.
Think so?
I think their GM, I think he's good.
He let Saquon Barkley go.
No.
So there's that. Pretty good player.
Yeah.
Be nice to have him.
Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, just imagine the Giants team if they did have Saquon, where they'd be.
Well, they're Andrew Thomas out for the season.
Where would they be?
Confirmed.
3-4. Oh, really?
Well, yeah. Andrew Thomas, their left tackle, is out for the season. Their defense is going to win them games. Like I will say that. Like I think they have like about 4 more games under their belt. Like they could probably beat the Steelers. Like this is a game. We'll talk about the Steelers here in a little while, but they could probably beat the Steelers. Obviously, I mean it wasn't even close. Like the Eagles. I think you could say this was a good one for Nick Sirianni. I think you could say that they looked very well coached. Their defense was playing awesome. Their offense was really good. I mean, there are a couple times where if you're an Eagles fan, you're probably watching like, why the fuck can't this Eagles team score a touchdown or a point in the first quarter of games? Like this is 6 weeks in a row. But then Jalen Hurts, nice deep ball, AJ Brown, tush push, Saquon Barkley. I mean, you needed that win. But we're gonna find out real quick about the Eagles coming up because they got the Bengals coming up next, which they play the Bengals in Cincinnati. I want you to guess that line without looking.
The Eagles play the Bengals in Cincy?
Yeah.
2.5, Cincy.
Damn. Good shit.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, and okay, so like you base that off of the fact that are the Eagles a good team or did they play Deshaun Watson and Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to find out a lot about this Eagles team coming up. And if Nick Sirianni is going to shake his head some more. Next year's pubes. He's going to have a mental breakdown. Yeah, Giants fans are booing.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Some of the fans are burning his jerseys. Saquon came out and said something about that. Eagles fans, I'm sure they were booing too, but I'm not sure that they were booing Saquon.
Yeah.
Saquon probably had like the worst time. He was like, he had 176 yards. He's like, why is everybody booing me? It's like, no, dude, 35% of the stands are not booing you.
Yeah.
Promise. So, oh man, yeah, there's really not much to this game. Eagles.
No. What's the next one you want to get into?
I mean, we talk about Seahawks Falcons. Nailed
absolutely was not what I expected.
Yeah, nailed that fucking pick. I even wrote down on the picks. So it was Atlanta minus 3.5. I wrote Seahawks minus 3.5 and said we're covered anyway. Wouldn't even matter. I felt way too. It's like I said, Seahawks lost 3 in a row after starting 3-0. Like felt like,
NFL script needed them to win one.
Well,
and then you even text me that morning. You're like, I totally forgot it was Kenneth Walker's birthday today. So.
Yeah, I know. I should have bet that one. Well, I didn't know it was his birthday. Like they announced it, and I was like, "What?"
No wonder he just scored.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah, Geno Smith's actually like pretty fun when he's playing good too. Like I mean, he had not like a massive game, but like he threw the ball well. So, yeah, and watching Kirk Cousins play, he had a couple passes in this game where it was just like it felt like it was going to be an off day for Kirk Cousins. He has those like every year. Like he has a couple of games where it's just like, yeah, he's going to have those games for you as long as you can keep him consistent in the playoffs. If you make the playoffs.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
So, I mean, that's Kirk Cousins in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Watched too many games of Kirk Cousins to know how he is. But yeah, Bijan Robinson's a fucking awesome player, by the way. That guy. I
love Bijan so much.
Yeah, he's a great player. But yeah, no, it just felt like hungry dogs run faster. So they needed that win, and I mean they completely. I mean shit pumping is a word.
It's a word.
Shit pumping's a word.
It's an adequate word for that situation.
Yeah. I feel like the Seahawks aren't that far off because they have a very good, they have extremely smart defensive-minded head coach in Mike Macdonald. I mean, look at that Ravens defense last year; they were fucking awesome. Yeah. I think they're getting there. Like maybe not this season because they're kind of banged up and they're getting guys back. But next season, if they can stay healthy, I think they're going to be a really, really good defense, like they have been for a long time since Legion of Boom.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's just going to take them a couple of years to kind of round into shape.
Yeah. That throw that Geno Smith had to DK Metcalf was just a fucking awesome throw. The 31-yard touchdown pass what's the status on DK? You saw him get carted off the field? I'll be honest with you. I was at Brasher's house on Sunday. We were watching all the games and on Red Zone and also on another TV. I was watching
minor MCL sprain.
Okay. Because when I came back, I went to the restroom and I came back and I saw him getting carted off the field. didn't look good.
Yeah.
So, how is he going to be out for several weeks?
He's questionable.
Okay, so they have to do that. Make your next opponent think that he's going to come back. Okay, let's see what it is. I picked Jackson Smith and Jigma in my DraftKings lineup. I thought middle of the field day. Jackson Smith dominates middle of the field. Just didn't happen. I guess I don't know ball. I know ball. I know spreads. I don't know props. So
yeah, I always struggle with props.
Yeah, it is what it is. Who do the Falcons play next?
The Bucks.
Well, now
We'll
that's
talk about them.
Yeah, then the Bucks and the Cowboys and the Saints. They got 3 games they can win back to back.
Yeah.
And the Broncos. That'll be a tough one. I think the Broncos. Maybe they just played the Saints, but
Dennis Allen's about to get fired.
Yeah, Dennis Allen. Probably the most unrecognized head coach in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I forgot he was still there.
Yeah. Next game, Bengals 21, Browns 14. Obviously.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I mean, not a ton in this game. Like, it was just your classic AFC North game, and then the Browns sort of made it interesting at the end. But really, the main talking points from this game is Deshaun Watson's injury and Jameis Winston and Myles Garrett coming out against Cleveland fans. See that?
Yeah. The injury ended up happening. Oh man, that really sucks. Oh darn. Yeah, that's rough.
Did you see everyone putting the memes of Jonah Hill, where it's like, yeah, it's real funny, Doc. The weird thing about my Achilles is it's actually located on my cock.
Yeah, I've gotten had a lot of my friends send me that on Instagram.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
There's been a lot of that. Also, you definitely looked like the. You remember when KD ruptured his Achilles against the Raptors in the finals, and Drake was like, "Oh man,
yeah."
Darn. I mean, that's kind of how it feels like. Obviously, Jameis Winston. That I love Jameis Winston so much.
He's the ultimate glue guy.
Yeah, the video. He's like, I see how my boy is fighting through adversity, and I'm gonna show him that I know that he's fighting, and I'm gonna be there for him. I love Jameis. But yeah, no, the injury happened, and you just know, my brain has been accustomed to seeing and knowing what an Achilles injury looks like, and as soon as his calf went up, it just I knew it was 100%.
I mean, you saw it last year. We saw it so often. I mean, Jalen Phillips, the kid for Miami. Then Aaron Kirko, obviously, and
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, it's just one of those injuries. It's very obvious when it happens.
It's noticeable, very noticeable, and so he's out for the season. He's getting older, so it's going to be like a longer recovery for him.
Yeah,
Jameis Winston being the emergency quarterback to DTR doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it's kind of disrespectful in my eyes. In the eyes of NFL fans, it's pretty disrespectful.
I'll say something nice about DTR. He was fun to watch at UCLA at times.
It's cool to see how you beat the shit out of them. So
yeah, probably not a very good NFL player though. I mean,
no, he's been okay.
Yeah, I mean he's your backup, but yeah, no, Jameis Winston.
I'm really gonna call that a foul. Oh my god, I forget. Sorry, I got the Lakers game on, and I forget anytime you touch LeBron, it's like fucking shooting Brady and call a fucking foul on it.
Have you seen? My buddy sent this to me, and it was LeBron's reaction to Bronny getting posterized for the first time in the NBA, and it was the video of Cedric Diggory's dad and Harry Potter going up to him. That's my son. That's my boy. Oh my god, the internet's. I hate the internet, but I love it so much at the same time.
So funny. It's so
funny. Myles Garrett. Obviously, I sent you the quote.
Yeah.
What was his quote again? Can you look that up?
I'm pulling it up right now.
Yeah, go ahead and pull it up and read it off.
He said, Sean Watson has been a model citizen throughout college and most of the pros.
Coming from a guy that used another player's helmet and hit him over the head.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
that word most is carrying like 405 pounds on its back right now.
So perfectly comedically placed.
Yeah.
Most of the pros.
How much do you think that?
That's like saying Hitler was a good person for most of his adulthood.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that sucks. I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson.
Oh, dude, that's
man.
awful. On the bright side, he'll probably get a lot of like massages on his Achilles.
Well, it's actually located in his cockets.
Yeah, exactly.
Bengals, are they back or do they play Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson, same as the Eagles? Those are back to back. Both of those teams have played Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson. So
we're about to find out because they got the Eagles. They should beat the Raiders. And then they got the Ravens, Chargers, Steelers.
We will find out about the Bengals. So I trust Joe Burrow a lot, though.
Yeah, they've been one of the most potent offenses in the NFL all season.
So they'll end up figuring out. Their offensive line's actually playing a lot better, too. That's been an issue for them. So, and that's against a really good Browns pass rush.
Yeah.
Should Myles Garrett get traded?
Oh, sorry.
I saw a tweet, and it was from Kev, very reliable source, that Myles Garrett, or that the Bears are showing interest in trying to get Myles Garrett to the Bears. You've known me for how long now? That's a very reliable source to me. So I absolutely 100% believe it.
I think the Packers are going to be in talks.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the big thing with the Packers. Every year around trade deadline time, Packers are in talks for this player, dealing this player, looking to move here, and then trade deadline comes and goes, and it's like, wow, the Packers made fucking 0 moves. So
all in my ass.
Yeah, literally.
But you wanted a big time wide receiver. You didn't get one in 2023, and it ended up working out for you. So
yeah, that's true.
Next game, Colts 16, Dolphins 10.
You know, I was 1 year too early on Jonnu Smith for fantasy.
Yeah. He had a big game, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, 70 catches, 96 yards, and touchdown.
Well, he was. Who did he play for before the Falcons?
Patriots.
Yeah, and then before the Patriots, he was somewhere. Oh, the Titans.
Yeah.
Right? Was it the Titans? Jonnu Smith?
Something like that.
Or I might be thinking of Delaney Walker, but Jonnu Smith was on a team before the Patriots. I believe so. Maybe he was at the Falcons. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Falcons, Patriots, Dolphins.
Yeah. We beat up on Anthony Richardson a lot. I'll say something nice about him. World-class athlete. Guys, one of the best athletes on the field.
Anthony Richardson is what you envision my hatred for Josh Allen to be. Just makes plays.
Yeah, he ran the ball very well.
Yeah, he looked like the North Sellers out there.
Yeah. Had a big time throw to Alec Pierce.
Yeah. So. 10-24 for 129 is pretty. It's not going to win you many games, though.
Yeah, it's getting pretty rough for the Dolphins. I mean, Tyler Huntley got hurt, had to go to the locker room. Tim Boyle had to come out, which.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, third string quarterback. I mean, it's not like he wants to go out there. I mean, at this point, he's probably set with his career. He's like, I'm cool with being a third string. And then
what do you think about? Speaking of Miami, what do you think about Tua and anti-Guardian Cap?
Old strategy, Cotton. See if it pans out.
I mean, how much do the Guardian Caps really do, though? You know what I mean?
I think I've come around on the Guardian Caps. I actually think they look pretty cool.
They don't look bad. Like, I'm not worried about how they look. I just don't know if the little bit of added weight and uncomfortability is a necessity. You know what I mean? Yeah.
If anything, he whips his head back, and the Guardian Cap's too much for him, and he falls. Okay, I see where
there's a few people that helmets just look funny on, and it's Kyler, it's Mike Hawkins, and it's Tua. Like, the helmets just look like comically large.
I don't really notice it with Hawkins, but I
notice Hawkins, I see it in the face mask.
Yeah.
His head looks like it's pulled way back in the face mask.
Yeah, I know. And we didn't even talk about that earlier. I kind of feel bad for the kid. Like, I feel really bad for him. I hope he ends up staying.
Yeah, but I want it to be a true quarterback competition. Brent came out and pointed Jackson, which I think it should be Jackson, but I think
Well, I'm glad that he's being transparent now. Like, it's been a lot of like unknowns, and he's basically just come out and said like what he's needed to say. Like, yeah, I'm going to sit the rest of these players that are hurt out. Jackson's going to start. I mean, he's basically just come out clean with everything. So
he's been very open and honest with us in press conferences, which was fun.
Well, fans
We're
are probably
going way off tangent here.
Yeah. But anyway, no. Cool to see Anthony Richardson get a win. Colts are 4-3.
Yeah, it feels weird. It feels like a really awkward 4-3.
Yeah. Joe Flacco.
It's like a 4-3 disguised as like 1-5.
No. Well, who they beat? They beat the Titans and the Dolphins, two teams not really good right now. Lost to the Jags. They did beat the Steelers. They did beat the Bears. So
yeah.
They had a hot streak going there for a second. Anthony Richardson beat the Bears, by the way. That was before the Bears became the Bears.
Yeah.
Well, they've actually been they've been in a lot of the games that they played. Like, they were 2 points away from the Texans. It's 29-27. They played the Packers pretty close. It was 16-10.
That was a Malik Willis game, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's true, yes. But still, like, you're a much better team.
Yeah, that's true. Defense wasn't that good at the end, but yeah, no, you're right.
Like, they've played a lot of these teams very close. So, like, and Shane, you've got the right head coach. You're banged up and you need to get better in the draft. So,
yeah.
But you need to see what you have in Anthony Richardson. So it's like you had to play him, and even Joe Flacco said, they needed to start Anthony Richardson basically over me because that's the only way that he's going to develop.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to see how much he develops when he has to play the Texans next week, and then the Vikings, and then the Bills. Hey, pretty girl.
You see that? Sebastian said you're pretty girl. You look like Dobby, though.
My Kylo does too. I have photos of Kylo. He looks like Dobby. They're gonna play the Texans, the Vikings, the Bills, the Jets. We'll see how the Jets end up panning out, and then the Lions. That's rough. They got a rough slate coming up, so we'll see how that ends up going. Stinky game is what it is. Tua's coming back.
Yeah, you think they really turn things around with Tua? You think they kind of get back to playing better football? I don't know if they make the playoffs or anything, but yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what are they now? 2-4.
Yeah.
And when Tua comes back, they're gonna play the Cardinals, Bills, Rams. They'll beat the Raiders, beat the Patriots. Got to play the Packers. Could beat the Jets. I mean, they got a pretty tough strip. Like, they have a very tough slate. Very tough season with how banged up they are.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And it sucks for Mike McDaniel because, I mean, he looks more homeless every day, and I feel bad for him because you can tell he's stressed. He can't handle this, man.
Yeah, no, he's out of his mind, dude.
Yeah, I don't think he's over his skis. I think he's been to the point.
No, it's been a tough season.
Yeah, it's been a very tough season for him. That's what happens when your team is banged up.
Yeah.
Look at Brent Venables, banged up team. So that's how it goes. That's it for the early slate. The afternoon slate, bunch of stinky games. Commanders, Panthers. I mean, the big story for that is Jaden Daniels ended up getting hurt, and Marcus Mariota eat shit all over the Panthers. The pick six when it happened in the first quarter, I knew it was over. I mean.
Yeah, it was like the OU game. You watched it happen. You're like, oh, that's over.
Yep. You can go ahead and turn on the next game. But I do want to shout out Ben Sinnott, guy we love very much from Kansas State.
Yes.
Got a touchdown.
He did. First career touchdown, I think.
Yep, first career touchdown. Ben Sinnott. I was happy for him.
Fucking awesome. Love it. It makes me so happy.
The Commanders defense, I think they're good, but not like great. They've got they got Dan Quinn, who's one of the best defensive minds in football. So, like, they're going to play much better than what they are. I just wonder what it's going to look like when they have to play Obviously, the Bears next week. Steelers with Russell Wilson, which we'll get into. The Eagles, obviously, we don't know how it's going to look with the Cowboys. Like Dak is streaky, so he's either going to have a fantastic game or it's going to be a rough game for him. And then also the Falcons. So we'll see what the defense looks like. But a lot of questions going around. Is Jaden Daniels a system quarterback? I'm not saying that. I like Jaden Daniels a lot.
No. If the system is, no.
Well, then you have to, if you're a Commanders fan, you love the system.
Yeah.
You root for the system. Yeah, no, the Panthers, I mean, it's over. It's dead for them. I mean, their offense is serviceable at times, but I mean, I think at this point, like they're just, you should put Bryce Young back out there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to just see what you have in him.
Yeah, maybe like being on the sidelines for a little bit cleared his head. It's like, oh yeah, it wasn't all on me. This team is. I mean, which of course we knew that he had been good, but like at the same time, Bryce dealt a bad hand. I feel bad for him.
I do too. I didn't ever think it was going to work out in the NFL for Bryce, but it's tough to see it now.
As soon as he went to the Panthers, it was just like,
yeah.
Well, I thought he had the talent, just a little small, but he definitely had the talent. Like he won a Heisman, was really good with Bama and Bill O'Brien's offense. So just when he got drafted to the Panthers, you just knew it was over.
Yeah.
And for God's sake, he ordered scallops, and that's why they drafted him. David Tepper was so impressed that he ordered scallops.
He's like, he's meant to be one of us.
Yeah. Yeah, David Tepper. Guy sucks. Anyways, that's all in that game. I don't really have anything else. Jaden has to be healthy though, right? Next week?
I believe so. Yeah.
He has to play.
You just want to see. Oh, dude, yes, man. Jaden and Caleb? Hell yeah.
Has to play.
He's considered week to week. He's questionable with a rib injury.
Okay. Who can give him a rib? Adam gave Eve a rib. Who can give Jaden a rib?
Adam also gave Steve some dick. So anyway,
Raiders 20. No way. I'm sorry. Rams 20. Raiders 15.
Backdoor cover for the Raiders.
Yeah. Aiden O'Connell did end up getting injured, broken thumb, I believe, or something happened with his thumb.
Fractured thumb.
Yeah. I think, and I thought the Rams were going to be a good team this year, and they're extremely banged up. But I still think they have a chance to be a good team because they have the quarterback and the coach to do it.
The main problem is the fact they're not playing Drake Stoops. I will say this every week until they play him and things start to turn around because that's what's going to happen. So
I know, man. Wishful thinking. Just it ain't going to happen. I don't know why. It feels like a guy that Sean McVay would love a lot and would play his ass off. But.
Maybe after they trade Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Stafford's missing all of his wide receivers. He could really use a guy like Drake Stoops, but it is what it is. The Rams, they are very frisky and they're a very fun team because they're going up like they're extremely banged up, and they've been banged up for a long time, and they're still rebuilding after their Super Bowl roster, and they're trying to get guys like Braden Fisk and Jared Verse going to replace how dominant Aaron Donald was. Like the only team they got, I mean, they've been close in all their games except against the Cardinals. Cardinals absolutely blew them out of the water, but they were so banged up.
Yeah.
Like they were in overtime against the Lions. They beat the 49ers. I mean, they had and that was like a kitchen sink game. We talked about that. They were with it. I mean, it's
close game with the Packers.
Close game with the Packers. Close game with the Bears. Close game. I mean, they beat the Raiders. So I believe if there was any team that was going to have a turnaround when they get healthy and make the playoffs, I would say in the NFC it's the Rams. Like a bad team that's 2-4 right now.
Yeah.
100% the Rams.
Does this season feel like a last gasp for Stafford though?
If they do they draft a quarterback or do they see what they have and Stetson Bennett? Or do they draft Carson Beck and have 3 Georgia quarterbacks and say one of you guys is going to win us another Super Bowl?
One of you dogs.
Yeah. Start barking. Go Dogs. Yeah. Minshew threw 3 picks. I feel bad for Minshew because I really like him, but the Raiders have some stuff that they got to figure out.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I know a guy that he's looking for a head coaching job. Used to be there. Spider 2 White Banana. Sometimes you got to go back in order to move forward.
That is true. That is true.
Old Matthew McConaughey tweet. Do you have anything on this game? I mean,
Nah, not really.
they should play Drake Stoops, or they should sign Drake Stoops, activate him to the roster,
Yep.
and play him.
That's actually what I have for every Rams game for the rest of the season. Play Drake Stoops, you're going to continue to lose. So.
Okay, Super Bowl rematch. Chiefs 49ers. Chiefs 28, 49ers 18. It
was not that close.
No, and I mean it didn't. You're right. It was 21-12. It ended up being 28-12. It was just the Chiefs are inevitable, man. It just their defense is just so fucking good. Steve Spagnuolo, probably the best coordinator that should probably stay a coordinator, right?
Yeah.
Like who should stay? Like Vic Fangio's one that I can think of.
Yep.
Come on, help me out here.
I'm trying to think.
Josh McDaniel.
Yeah, Josh McDaniel.
If he was to stay a coordinator.
Eric Bieniemy.
He never got a shot at a head coaching job.
That is true. That is true.
So Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah, that's a good one.
Lincoln Riley.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So.
Maybe in a couple of years, Brent Venables. I hope not, but
no, he'll get another shot. So we'll see with Dan Quinn. We'll see with him.
Yeah,
it depends on. I think he has a quarterback to do it now, though. But yeah, no, that defense, they're filthy, dude. They've been filthy for 2 years now.
Yeah.
So, and they're doing this with Patrick Mahomes not playing very well, which he's missing Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice. So
he did run the fuck through that safety from San Francisco, though.
Yeah, and he also had the sideline run too, where I feel bad for defenders. Like, what do you like? You can't. You're afraid he's going to go out of bounds.
I mean, Jonathan Owens about took his life away last year in the Green Bay game.
Yeah.
Just keep doing that. Fuck it. Give up 15 yards. Hit his ass. Game was over.
Yeah. Well, and then, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, they're going to get on your ass. And, you don't want the Swifties.
Oh, no. Swifty on my ass.
You're messing with a dangerous army, dude. I'm just telling you right now.
I'm going to wake up in the morning. There's going to be like 50,000 pink Barbie cars outside.
Yeah, there's going to be a Swiftie that watches this. Swifties, I'm on your side.
Joke's on you. I might be the Swiftie watching. So.
Yeah, no, they're 6-0, and I thought I saw a stat. Let me look it up real quick. This is actually a pretty interesting stat because it's just it's the definition of the Chiefs are inevitable with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I have to find it. I don't know where it's at, dude. Start talking. This is bad podcasting.
Bronny James just is guarding Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Edwards just hit Austin Reeves on the sidelines.
Oh wow!
Oh shit! On an out of bounds, on an inbound. Yeah, he just hit him in the chest. Bronny James blows ass.
I think the stat was the Chiefs are the first team to have an undefeated record through 6 games with their quarterback having more interceptions than touchdowns. I thought that's what I saw.
That's wild.
Mahomes, 6 touchdowns for 8 interceptions. He hasn't been great. A lot of it, how I feel about Matt Nagy, but also this has just happened the past couple of years where he hasn't had to be perfect.
The guy.
Yeah, until the postseason. So it's kind of lining up to be the same thing that it has been for a while. Who do they? Yeah. Who's the next loss on their schedule? Why should it be the Raiders again?
Do you imagine?
Yeah, they play the Raiders next week. Kansas City -10. This could definitely be one of those.
That's a trap game. I'd take the Raiders.
Yeah.
Not to win, obviously, but to cover.
Yeah, their defense is gonna have to. I mean, they're gonna have to be a dominant force like they were last year in that game.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, no, the Chiefs are inevitable. And I mean, Brock Purdy, I get that most of his guys are banged up. They're without Juwan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk. The bad news for Brandon Ayuk's contract season ended up tearing his ACL in that game. That sucks.
Yep.
Yeah, that's rough for him. I think Debo ended up getting hurt. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. I mean, they're banged up everywhere.
Yeah.
So, like, it's hard to, like, gauge what the 49ers could have been this season with all their injuries.
Yeah, no, that's entirely fair.
So, wait till they have to play the fucking Bears. Brock Purdy's going to be running for his life. Also, Trent Williams, we had another Trent Williams punching somebody in the head while they were still wearing their helmet.
Yeah, those are always fun. Those are some of my favorite highlights.
Yeah, so Trent Williams does not care if you're wearing a helmet. He's going to hit you in the head.
He's an absolute bear, dude. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Wish he was a bear.
Wish he was a Sooner still.
What is... Yeah, I don't really see, like, another loss on the Chiefs schedule. I mean, the Bills... Maybe the Chargers. Maybe the Chargers get their rematch. Maybe the Texans. They play the Texans later on in the season.
Could be the Texans.
It's in Kansas City. That's a bad offensive line right now, so if they don't figure it out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I keep wanting to say the Bucks, and we'll talk about what happened to them. It feels like it's taken away all momentum that they had.
Yeah.
But you want to get in the Sunday night game?
Yeah. Steelers 37, Jets 15. Let Russ cook.
Yeah,
Russ was cooking.
We gotta. Maybe Mike Tomlin was right, man. Maybe Mike Tomlin was right.
Yeah, he even came out and they were asking about it, and he was like, "That's why I get paid the big bucks."
Yeah.
So yeah, he knows what he's doing. This is. We've known the Steelers and Mike Tomlin for a long time now. So, yeah. No, Rusty was cooking. It started off rough for them. They were down 7-3. They couldn't get anything going on offense, and the crowd was booing Russ, and it just felt like, Russ is not going to be able to handle this Pittsburgh crowd. Like, you can't boo. Russell can't handle that. Like, he can't handle being booed. Like, you have to pat his back.
Yeah, he's got to get some positive, like, affirmations going.
He's changed that completely in my head. I mean, he just started dealing with that. He was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw the ball to George Pickens, and he's going to catch the ball, and he did.
Wild.
He almost had a highlight reel catch. I mean, that deep ball, it was right there for him. His receivers kind of helped him out a little bit. I mean, he got away with a couple of passes where his receivers had to one-hand it. The George Pickens one-handed was absolutely insane. Pat Fryer too, but he's given his guys a chance. That had been kind of an issue or a problem that I had with Justin Fields in Chicago, and it kind of looked like that in some games for the Steelers. I hope he kind of looks at that and sees, okay, maybe I should just give my guys a chance. Like, don't be afraid to throw it to George Pickens when he's one-on-one.
When the receiver has all the leverage there, because the DB's got to play him and the ball. The receiver's only going to play the ball in the scenario. So,
yeah. Yeah, no, Russell Wilson cooking a little bit. The Steelers are 5-2, and that defense is ferocious. And this was just the ultimate Mike Tomlin game. I mean,
100%.
Blocked field goals, like it was like black magic. It was it was Mike Tomlin's black magic, where guys are like the ball's bouncing off of Jets wide receivers' hands and chests, and it's ended up in Beanie Bishop's hands for interceptions. Like,
that throw to Garrett Wilson was a prime Aaron Rodgers throw. That was a perfect throw.
Well, Mike Tomlin, black magic, voodoo. So no, it was, but it wasn't, because Mike Tomlin, it was a Mike Tomlin game. Blocked field goals.
You're right. My bad.
Defense playing ferocious. Yeah, the Steelers are very much in it. And Najee Harris, he's kind of finding his groove a little bit. He's running the ball well. So shout out to him. The Jets are toast.
Yeah, Devontae Adams went from a 2-5 team to a 2-5 team with the homies. So
yeah, no. He basically said in his press conference, he was like, yeah, no, this has been kind of the reason why we've been losing all these games, just not being able to execute, and fans are pissed. Like, you've only been here for a week. It's like, well, I mean, he's been there in spirits. Like, we've been talking about Devontae Adams for a while now. So,
yeah. He's been there all season.
I would like to be in the room, or I'd like to be outside of the room listening to a group of Jets fans talk about the Jets and how they are this season.
It might just be AA.
You want to hear something crazy?
What's up?
This same point last year with Zach Wilson.
I saw this.
Jets were 4-3.
He had 7 picks, just like Aaron does.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was really hoping that this was going to be an Aaron Rodgers era where he's tearing down the Packers, and like this is exactly what he's doing for a different team. And it makes me really sad that the Packers are a smart organization and go with the young guy, because this is what I've just wanted for a very long time. Unfortunately, it's happening with the wrong team in green. But the Jets have some stuff to figure out.
Maybe he's going to go be a Viking and take him all the way to the NFC Championship game.
Do you think the stink of Robert Saleh is still with that team? He's been texting the interim coach, Jeff Ulrich.
I don't know, man.
Maybe
I don't know.
Jeff Ulrich should just figure out how to be an interim coach.
I think they should all do a team bonding darkness retreat.
Yes.
That's what
Blue Mountain State did.
Yep.
Blue Mountain State did. Drug Olympics. Ended up working out for them.
They made it working. It's exactly what they need to do. That's all they need to do.
Turns out all that needed to happen was a running back which needed to have sex with the Cougar.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Maybe there's a team. Yeah, something's going on. They just got to figure it out. But yeah, the Jets, man. Oof. Their defense was so good last year. They can't stop the run anymore.
I know.
It's been a big issue for them. So I don't know. And they got good guys on the interior. And Will McDonald, which we really liked him out of Iowa State.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You want to know something crazy? Van Jefferson scored a touchdown in this game. I didn't realize he was a Steeler. I thought he was still a Ram.
Yeah, I saw that happen, and I was like, no way, dude.
Yeah, I know. It didn't make any sense. But yeah, Russell Wilson might be onto something. Might be cooking.
Maybe.
We shall find out.
I'm also so tired of his Sunday Night Football intro.
Why?
I'm just tired of Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
That and Dak's fucking cadence just make my ears bleed.
Yeah, Patrick's cadence, dude. I love Patrick Mahomes, but the cadence is just getting annoying.
The cadence, very annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this was the ultimate, like, Mike Tomlin. This is why I'm the head coach of a, like, prized franchise. And that's why he's won a Super Bowl. And if we know anything about Mike Tomlin, you know that he's going to lose a letdown game next week against the Giants.
Yep. They're going to fucking smoke it away, dude.
Yeah. Absolutely, like, take the Giants plus 6.5. You might as well take money line.
Yeah.
So that's, Monday night game. Absolutely game that they should win, that they lose. And then they're going to end up beating the Ravens or, like, the Eagles. They could even beat the Chiefs. Like, they're just going to win. They're going to win games that they shouldn't. But I mean, if Russell Wilson plays the way they have a good team. I honestly do believe they have a very good team.
Yeah.
And the offensive line, like, we'll figure out if it can if it rounds into form the way that it should. Like, I think they can make a deeper run than in the playoffs than just losing in the wild card.
Yeah.
Did you say that the Steelers are going to suck this season? And I told you, no, it's Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, I did double back on it a little bit because it is Mike Tomlin, but
anyways. Yeah, no, that's all I have for that game.
Yeah, no, I don't have a ton. You want to get to Monday night?
Yeah, Monday night. Which game do you want to start with?
Probably
Cardinals, Chargers, since I'm wearing the Phillip Rivers jersey.
Yeah. Excellent pull, by the way. That's a clean ass jersey, dude.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's a sick jersey.
Huge Phillip Rivers fan. Yeah, letdown game. I had them winning this game. I had them covering too. But you want to see like an awesome stat. Justin Herbert was 27-39 for 349 yards. They did not score a touchdown. It was all field goals. It was all Cameron Dicker, just 50
Dicker the kicker.
59, 50, 47, 40. mean, they were there, but yeah, no, the Cardinals ended up winning that game. I mean, I should have known the second that Justin Herbert had that deep ball to Jalen Reagor and fumble into the end zone for a touchback. Well, I mean, it was punched out, but yeah, no. And I didn't realize their wide receiver core was as banged up as it was. I didn't know Quentin Johnson was out. And Fehoko or Fehoko, is that his name?
No idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was hurt either. Their leading receiver was Disley. So I guess Brendan Rice is not playing either. So yeah, that's what it is. I don't really have much on this game. I was happy for Kyler though. He ended up. I mean, he got them down the field. Awesome game-winning drive. Yeah, no, there was a minute and 54 seconds left. Weird clock management, but I mean, the defense had moments where it played good. That game, I mean, you had everything in this game. The Jalen Reagor, I mean, the fumble, like they punched it out, goes for a touchback. Kyler Murray throws it. It's tipped the line of scrimmage, big man interception, and then James Conner. It was James Conner, or who was it that punched it out, and the Cardinals ended up getting, they redeemed it by. You had everything in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who did that, but
yeah, James Conner.
He's a very good player. He's been really good, dude.
Yeah, past couple of years. So, yeah, I don't really have much on this game, unfortunately. But Jim Harbaugh, I still think the Chargers are a good team, though. They're also win the Super Bowl, I think, for 45-1. I mean, if they could run the table and you maybe like hedge, or like you could either hedge or just like ride with it and see what happens. Probably one of those you want to hedge, though.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I guarantee you, if they make the playoffs, before they make the playoffs, like has to be before the final game of the season. Like you can hedge that, either hedge it or cash it in. I bet you'd win big on that. So, you know what? Honestly, that might be something that I do. So we'll see. Next game, the game before this one, Ravens 49, Buccaneers 31. Lamar Jackson is 23-1 against NFC teams. It looked like the Ravens, the Bucs were going to run away with it. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs offense had the put your nuts on the table. We're going to run it on third down, fourth down territory, end around to McMillan. And I mean, it just seemed like they were off and running from there. Their defense was incredible. Yeah. But Lamar Jackson on Monday Night Football against the NFC is inevitable. And did he have a perfect passer rating?
I don't think so.
Jamie looked it up.
Hello, Jamie. 158.1. Just right there. Yeah. 158.3 is perfect. So
he's awesome on perfect. Yeah, he's awesome on primetime games. Yeah, no, they ended up winning the turnover battle. Mike Evans, I mean, that's the big one. He ends up getting hurt. I felt bad for him because I went into the restroom before Baker threw the pass, and when I got back into the living room, it looked like he was holding his ass, and I thought, oh, he's pulling a Lamar Jackson. He has to poop.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out he was actually hurt. He's going to be out for several weeks, which that's a bummer for him. And it just felt like the vibe of the offense just it went downhill from there. Baker started throwing picks.
Yeah, it turned ugly real quick.
Yeah. And shout out to the Ravens defense for like throwing out different looks too. They just started. They had a command on the offensive line, or on the Buccaneers offensive line. After that, Derrick Henry still fantastic player.
Yeah,
crazy how good Derrick Henry is. Lamar Jackson still an unbelievable player. 5 touchdown passes. Good Lord.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, no, Ravens are a really good team, and it was never as close as the score indicated.
No, not at all.
I guess we should go ahead and point out they're down 10 and they get the ball back. They're trying to engineer a comeback. I mean, when you're down 10 and there's still like a minute and something left. Which also the backwards pass, they should have given the Buccaneers player that touchdown.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it was just too cool. You can't take that away. But obviously the big deal that everybody was talking about was keeping your starters out there, and then Chris Godwin ends up getting hip drop tackled and had a nasty ankle injury, which I don't really know what to side with, because like I get it from like some points of view where you do have the potential to come back and win this game, but here's how like I think about it. You would have had to score a touchdown and get an onside kick, and you know how hard onside kicks have been, or like the changes they made to their onside kick. It would have been like damn near impossible to try to get an onside kick against a John Harbaugh, well-coached Ravens team.
Yep.
So that you just had Mike Evans hurt. You should probably set your starters. Like, you need all hands on deck.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. So, did you see Ryan Clark talk about it?
Yeah.
I kind of agree with what he's saying. Like, you don't want to give up on anything, right? You want to make every down count. These guys are paid for, but at the same time, it's like the risk reward there is so high that, like, yes, you want to go out there and try to make every play possible. You want to try to make the most of it. But in the same breath, you're not winning that game. You shouldn't sacrifice your future, the remainder of your season, for right now, especially when Mike Evans got hurt.
Yeah. And, I mean, they're treading water right now, because you got the Falcons coming up, and then you got the Chiefs. We don't know what the 49ers are going to look like. The Giants have a really good defense. They should win that game, but again, good defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they have a few games on here that are going to be tough for them, and you're going to have to get the rookie McMillan going. And yeah, I know you're going to be playing these games without Chris Godwin, who was having like an awesome season. I mean, he's leading. He's out for the season, and he's leading, or he's second in receiving yards behind Jamar Chase. So he was having an awesome season. So that sucks for him. It looked nasty.
It was.
They wouldn't show it, but it looked like his ankle was turned. And they did confirm it was dislocated.
Yeah, and I mean, whenever he just started crawling away, you see his ankle like just flattened out facing the way you kind of knew.
Yeah, we don't know if there's ligament damage as well. We would assume there is, because it's
probably
dislocated.
As violent of a dislocation it was, probably.
Yeah, hip drop tackle. I thought they were going to ban that. I guess not, which I don't think they should have. But like,
they didn't call what's his name that got Joe Mixon on it earlier in the season.
Yeah, I know it was the Bears. Yeah, I remember that. But that's
was it the Bears?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even I said it. I was like, oh, it's a hip drop tackle. We're going to get penalized for it. They didn't throw the flag.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't do it for this one either. I mean, it was clear hip drop.
I wonder what happened.
I don't know. Maybe they haven't implemented it yet, but yeah, no, that's rough. I feel bad. I mean, you can even tell, like everybody in the game, like after Chris Godwin was down, it just two guys of that caliber on that team that have, like, were big time in the success of the Bucs the past few years. Like, you have no idea what it can do to a team's morale. I mean, look what losing Nick Anderson and Jaden Gibson have done to Oklahoma's offense, which there's more problems than that. But I'm saying, like it's crazy that that's the name of the game. Like, you're going to get injured. You know what you signed up for.
Yeah.
It just sucks that it happened.
I mean, just like watching Baker's reaction, like, it shook Baker up. As part of it, I mean, he's a great teammate, right? He loves his guys, but at the same time, like,
it's also a Zen guy.
I did see. Yes, that was pretty fucking sick. But it's one of those things, like, it shakes everybody up. Those violent injuries like that, it fucks everything up. So.
But this game was never as close as it. I mean, as soon as Mike Evans went down, it just the offense couldn't do anything.
Yeah, no, it was over.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, the Ravens, very good football team. So, and they put it together. They got the Browns. See how that goes.
Win. Yeah, they should win. Unless they play Jameis. If they play Jameis, who knows?
If they play Jameis, I think they win. I think they maybe lose a couple more. Maybe. They're still a deep playoff team. I think they're still.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, no, they don't play the Chiefs. they're probably a team that thinks they can beat the Chiefs, and as soon as they go against them, either in the divisional or the AFC Championship game, they're going to lose to the Chiefs again, or at least their fans think that. That's why I'm sick of the Ravens. Like last year was, I had them as my Super Bowl team.
Mm-hmm.
Got rid of that real quick, cashed that in right before the playoffs. Actually, I cashed it in before the Chiefs game. I didn't think they would have to play the Chiefs. I thought they would have played the Bills. But
Oh man.
yeah, no. You got to prove it to me, Lamar.
Yeah.
He's too good of a quarterback, and has won MVPs. Like the team, it's not just Lamar. They got to prove it to me.
No, I agree. I
want to see it, but for now, it's the regular season. We can worry about the playoffs later. So they are an absolute wagon. That's a good Bucs team too.
It is. That's the shitty part as well with the injuries. It's like that's just going to change how people think of the Bucs season.
Yeah, exactly.
They
like
were
it could have been
rolling.
special.
They were
Yeah, because they looked like a good team. Their offense is like incredible. They beat the Commanders, who look like a really good team. They beat the Lions, who are a really good team. That's the
they
only.
Just can't stop shit on defense.
Yeah, they beat the Eagles, lost to the Falcons in overtime, like in Atlanta, destroyed the Saints. Yeah, I know it's a completely different outlook now. Like we're gonna see what this team is made of.
Yeah.
No, the Bucs
definitely.
Really good team going up against another really good team. It was an entertaining game.
Yeah. No, it's very entertaining. I enjoyed it.
That over hit like crack in Philadelphia, so I was happy about that. But yeah, no, that's it for the NFL and college football talk.
You got anything else you want to get into?
Let's just let's see how we did on our picks.
Yeah.
I was 5-6. I had Dolphins, Colts under 43.5. That was just easy. I don't take pride in that. The only one that like I really take pride in was the Ravens Bucks over, and then Seattle plus 3.5. Well, I had Seattle minus 3.5 on accident, but
Yeah.
I hit either way.
I had what's that? That's 1, 2, 3. I went 3 for 5. Well, 3 for 6. Jaden Daniels rushing touchdown really fucked me, but
That sucks, man.
I took the Lions to cover, which they won outright. I took Kansas City to cover. They won outright. I took Cincy to cover 5.5. They won by 7. I took the over the Packers-Houston game. That fucked me. And I took the under in the Jacksonville-New England game at 41.5. Didn't get that. So
I had Colts Dolphins under 43.5, Seattle plus 3.5, Ravens Bucks over 49, Commanders minus 9.5, Saquon touchdown. The Chargers minus 2.
Dude,
Chargers minus 2 is rough for me, man.
Yeah, the Jaden Daniels rushing touchdown fucked me so bad. I had a 5-leg anytime touchdown parlay, and it was Jaden Daniels, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, DK Metcalf.
And they all hit like crack in Philadelphia, except for Jaden.
Except Jaden Daniels, and it wasn't on Prize Picks where I would have got phone. It was on Bovada. I didn't get shit for it. But anyways, it is what it is. It was a fun weekend, though. It was a super fun weekend.
Maybe I know ball because Vegas should have fucked me, considering how good we were last week. A lot of people were just dead on. Like it was again Vegas's worst week, and I know ball.
Yeah, fuck.
I'm gonna get absolutely fucked this weekend. My picks are gonna be terrible. I can just.
I did put my I did put money on the Thunder to win the title this year, so
I did
the futures just opened up.
I can't do it again. I already did that last year, unfortunately.
Do it every year.
Okay.
But I think that has been it for the PigSkin Podcast, Season 2, Episode 15. As always, like I said, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Traffic's actually been kind of crazy on the videos. Our watch time has been through the roof. I think we've gotten over 150 hours of watch time in the past 30 days. So thank you to everybody that's actually sticking through and watching these videos. And also thank you for any traffic on them at all, but would surely appreciate some more likes, some comments, just to kind of get things flowing and get some more engagement. And definitely share it. We would appreciate getting as many eyes on this as possible. Again, we're just doing this for fun, but would definitely love to get more more people involved. So with that being said, going to go ahead and cut the video here. We will be back later in the week to get our weekend preview. College football week 9, NFL week 8. So see ya.
Love you guys.